Da, 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 da. You're live. Okay, cool. We are live. Hello, everybody. Why is this camera falling? I've got my little camera keeps falling asleep, and I'm not sure why. He's tired. He was not expecting to be working today. There he is. Okay. Okay, cool. So, and he broke it again. Why? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, is this a cable issue? This might be a cable issue. That's annoying. Right, don't switch. Do I have a second cable? No, I do not. Shouldn't be a cable issue. It might be a cable issue. Oh, that's so annoying. As always. Right, sorry. How was Comic-Con Birmingham for you guys? Awesome.
Yeah, it was really good. It was weird because it was one of the first ones we've done where we're not running painting lessons.
Oh, you're not?
Which was really bizarre. It was just a vendor slot, if you want to think of it that way.
Oh.
At the same time, we got talking to loads of people.
Yeah.
It was great. We were behind the podcast stage, and they were doing drum demonstrations.
Oh, I see. It's probably.
That's a long 3 days. But yeah, but overall, it was really great. I met loads of great people. It was fantastic.
Awesome.
Met a couple of what I would consider YouTube celebrities from that part of the world.
Ooh.
Fantastic too. So Louise Sugden, one of Rogue Traders, used to work Games Workshop, made her own YouTube channel.
Cool.
Wargamer turned up, both their teams stopped by the stall and said hello, which was fantastic.
Nice.
So yeah, good to be fair. It was good to see them.
I mean, I spent the weekend at the Rip Rap Festival in Oxford.
Yes, I saw. How was that?
Amazing. It was really good. Right, so we've been given this box, which we have opened since last Comic Con. So we've not kept it sealed since October, but it is full of adorable goodies that have been pre-primed for us because, yeah, so we gave you a bunch of stuff as well, but we didn't pre-prime anything.
I'm sorry for that.
Do you want me to hold mine up to camera first?
Yeah, go for it. No, go for it.
Yeah, so obviously this was October. You guys turned up and delivered us a little care package. So
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. It's so good.
Little guy here.
Nice.
And I did glue in his little sort of turn thing. So it's glued in so it doesn't spin. He was fantastic.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I haven't decided yet if this is a traffic code.
Oh.
What's up? Oh no, what kind of audio issues? Guest too quiet. I can... Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Guest should be a lot louder now.
Is that better? Can you hear me now? Is that a bit better?
Oh, clear on my end.
We'll see if
but
chat catches up.
Yeah. It should be fine now. It's because usually I only have like text to speech running in the background, so there's not a lot of... I try to not have a lot of audio coming through. But yeah, I forgot to turn it up. But you should be okay now.
It's okay for him.
Right.
And then yeah, well we'll keep going. So yeah, the third thing that I got was this little guy here. It's probably gonna be the first thing I paint today.
The little hat.
See, that's
guy.
like a
Yeah,
little
it's adorable.
baseball cap with a propeller in it, and a little tongue poking out. So we'll see what that ends up like. And then this is the other one as well, which is like a little plant thing. So yeah, so I got those 3D printed, resin 3D printed, I'm assuming, and yeah,
Done by
primed
Joseph,
them
actually.
today.
Actually, Joseph printed them for us because we didn't have a resin printer at the time.
Fair enough.
So,
Well, thank you, Joseph. So yeah, so we'll give them a go, and then I pre-primed some models and delivered back as a counter care package,
yes.
which came in the little brown box for you.
Yeah, I was going to say. So we didn't. We mentioned a vending machine at Comic-Con.
Yes.
This is it. It still needs a little bit of work because I did all the electronics in that, but it still needs a little bit of work. But the video should be out early next year. I think. Oh God, second half of January.
How is it? How is it already going to be talking about the second half of
I know,
January? It
right?
feels like it's ridiculous. But
Video
there you
release
go. I'm at
schedules are
Christmas time.
crazy.
So yes.
Okay,
Um,
where are we? Oh, hello, Dan. How are you doing? Oh yes, care package. So we have. Wow, where
Your
do I
audio
start?
sounds quiet compared to the guest according to Valzu now.
fun of audio balancing.
My audio sounds quiet. Okay. Can you just yell?
I can talk loudly. That's not a problem. Get it balanced. That's no
La la
worries.
la la. It's because I don't know where the peaks are in most cases, but we'll figure it out. Just let us know how it goes. Right. So we have a cat person. Where are we? Here we
Yeah.
are.
But all of these have official names, which I can tell you if you want to, or
Oh,
you can
please
come up with
do.
names yourself. I
Oh,
don't
no,
mind.
please do.
So this is Pan the Tiger Fighter. So to be clear, just I don't know if your chat knows or anyone watching knows what this is. So I'm John from Everstromn Hobbies. We run a 3D printing business. We've been at the last couple of Comic Cons. Ran into Mello and a few other people there. Got chatting, got to meet the community. And yeah, basically we was running some sessions, and these are some additional stock that I wanted to see them have a go at painting, see how they get on. So these all have official names and official characters. So yeah, so that was Pan the Tiger Fighter. We work with external designers and we do the printing and the painting and that kind of stuff. So these are
Pan the
by a
Tiger.
couple of designers called Naga Minis, based out in the Philippines or out in Malaysia, that kind of way. I can't remember his exact answer.
The armor.
So yeah, so there's a little.
So good.
Yes, yeah.
So good. I did accidentally drop him and crack his tail, but you can barely tell.
By the time you get paint on it, it'll be absolutely fine, I'm sure.
Yeah. Right, so then we have a badger.
Yeah, so this guy's called Merku or Mersu, depending on how you pronounce it. Quite a popular one. Badger had a lot of people do. I typically paint him with a yellow coat, but a lot of people have gone black coat, red trim, which was quite nice. I don't know if that's from a specific fandom that I'm not aware of, but either way, it looked pretty cool.
Awesome. And we have sorry. Do you want to grab your version of this one?
Oh no, I didn't change the head on it. It's still yellow.
And then we have the reptile person.
Yeah, kind of weird crocodile-y, reptile-y guy. I don't think this one has a name yet. Perhaps you'll have to see if you can name him today.
We'll let the chat decide.
Yeah, let chat decide on name for that one.
Awesome.
Yeah, kind of crocodile, dragonborn, depending upon which part of the fandom you come from.
And then we have mushroom guy.
Mushroom guy. So this was the guy that we was using to teach airbrushing with. So I think you came and airbrushed.
Yeah.
Jamie came and airbrushed as well.
Yeah.
They had a great time with it. So yeah, so I can't remember which one of you did the airbrushing on the day.
I did the airbrushing because Jamie was just going over how airbrushing works and stuff.
Yes, we was having chats about why airbrushes get clogged and all that kind of good fun.
So, okay, so we have Jamie's version of
Chicken head.
chicken head, which yeah, she's not too pleased about the head, but I think it looks good.
I think it's good. I mean, yeah, I like the gradients and the blends on it as well. They look great on the tail and the blue to the light blue.
What? Yep, I know what.
Yeah, that's
There we go. Yeah. Right. Other models. I think the last one we have left over is this little guy, which is
Adorable.
so tiny. I used him for
Yeah,
the
he is
thumbnail.
really
He is
small.
kind of a pain to take photos of because of how tiny.
He really is.
But he has so much detail.
So what you can do, which I tend to do with some of the models, is you can pre-mount them on bases to make them easier to paint.
Yeah.
So I've just got a little Christmas elf here. This wasn't part of the care package from you guys, but this is just here. But yeah, sometimes it's easier to pre-mount it. So I think I gave you a pack of bases in there as well, I remember.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
So it might be easier to glue him to the base. You might have to prime the base, or you just leave it as grey. That's fine. If you wanted to, because then it gives you something to hold on to sometimes. It's up to you.
No, I was not. Sorry.
What did you say?
I asked if you'd like some blue tack to tack them down for now. No, but here, come here.
Tuck.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the other thing I do as well, is I'll blue tack it just a piece of this is an old bit of doweling that I cut off from a bit of a project, just to glue it onto there. It gives you something to hold as you're painting, which is quite useful.
Absolutely, yeah. He has so much little detail. Like, he's so so tiny. I want to, but I don't feel confident enough to paint him today. Right, which one do you want
Fair
to paint
enough.
today?
I
Make
am
your
tempted by the
choice.
mouse,
You're tempted by the mouse.
but I will struggle.
I mean, if you want the challenge, go for it. I'm gonna go for something much easier. I'm gonna start with the mushrooms.
Mushroom's a good warm up, I think. It's a good warm up one. And you can, you don't even got to go inside the lines on the mushroom. It's
You want a
organic.
mushroom?
It's fine.
Mushroom warm up. I'll give you
Sure,
a mushroom for
mushroom
warm up. Right, okay, I'm gonna put these guys in a box so that they are safe before I break one again.
It's because I see the mouse as like dessert. I want the dessert first.
You see the mouse as a
That's
dessert.
too short. Eat pudding first.
Tell me you've
Yeah.
lived with cats without telling me you've lived with cats. Right. I need a base.
Balzu's in chat saying that he has a 3D printing company, but he doesn't like to ship outside of Finland because of shipping costs. He doesn't have a lot of orders, but because he's forgotten to do advertising.
Yeah,
Oh, so he's
shipping's a pain.
So you're just using my stream as advertising? Get out of here. I mean, I know you pay me monthly, Vazu, but Vazu is one of my Patreon supporters.
Very good.
Do
So,
you want
would you
a
like
shaky?
would you like a D battery to
I'm
hold?
fine, thank you. I've got a CD.
Okay. I'm using a D battery to hold my my minifig.
Very on brand. I like that. Just don't. So I have a bad habit of licking the paintbrush. Just don't lick the battery. Would be my advice.
Oh, I used to do that.
Okay, you only do that with 9 volts because they're the easiest ones to lick. Okie dokie. I have no idea what I'm starting. I'm starting by moving the camera down. That's what I'm starting. Down, down, down.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you want the massager for getting the things
Oh
down
yeah,
of these.
sure. I don't mind. That'd be a fun one to show on Fun Stream. A while back, we've got one of those personal massagers, and Jamie needed a way to shake her paints, so I adapted. I made a 3D printed adapter for it to hold one of the paint bottles and put it in the personal massager, and it works surprisingly well.
Don't call it a personal massager.
Yeah, I
It's-
picked up a nail varnish shaker for like 20
yeah,
quid
yeah.
off Amazon. That's quite good.
Yeah,
And that's up the painting.
I didn't want to spend that money, so I didn't.
No, I get that. I get that.
Hey, as
You're
long as
much
it
better
works.
electronics than I am.
I mean, I didn't have to do anything electronics-wise, luckily. Enable auto track. No, that's not what I want. I want manual focus. That's what I want. There it is.
We have Jules Ham in chat saying yo yo yo,
Yo, yo,
and
yo.
Ignacio saying hello,
Hello.
and Valzu asking if you can make your microphone a bit louder.
My microphone.
Yeah.
He can't decide, can he? I'm either too loud or I'm too quiet. My microphone cannot go louder, so I'm gonna put up Joe, and he can just turn down his audio.
No worries.
Right, I have. Do I start with the head, or do I start? With
So when
the
I'm
body?
painting, I like to use what I call the inside out method or getting dressed in the morning method, which is quite good,
I don't
which
get dressed
doesn't
in the
really
morning.
work with this
I don't
character.
know,
If you want to hold up, if you think about you starting with the tiger, it's probably an easier way to describe the method. It works the same. But basically, you want
got
to
you.
paint all of the,
Yeah.
paint like you're getting dressed in the morning. So start with your skin, because that's what you wake up in,
Yeah.
you hope. And then you go on to like initial kind of under bits of armor. And then you go on to outer bits of armor, gloves, hats, that kind of stuff. You kind of start inside and like work your way out effectively. So if I was painting the mushroom, I would start probably with the underside of the top bit, get that
Okay, I
painted.
see. Gotcha.
Then I'd paint all of the skin of the lower half.
Uh-huh.
Then while that dries, I'd probably paint the top of it. And then I'd look to come back and pick out all the details on the individual mushrooms, the eye, that kind of stuff.
All right. And
Depends what kind of paints you got.
So in terms of it being already, it's already primed, but will the
Yes.
darkness here affect the color that goes on top?
Yes.
Definitely. Well, it depends what kind of paint you're using. So, for reference, I use semi-translucent kind of contrast or speed paints or that kind of stuff.
We
Model
use
Air, not too much with those. It depends how thin you make them. But yeah, if you thin them down slightly, the reason we do the black and the white is to give it a bit of variation, so it doesn't
Gotcha.
look just like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
flat
I
color.
got
So yeah, so you can. It definitely will impact it. That's part of the style certainly that I like to paint in, just to give it that different variation and give it a different layer of color. But yeah, that's part of the different priming you can do. You can either do flat priming, or we've got Zenithal priming there.
Okay. Right. How did you get started in miniatures?
So mini painting for me started when I was a young boy with the infamous Warhammer, which is probably where a lot of people got started, I think. I was 11, 12, buying Warhammer, involved in all things nerd and fantasy, Magic the Gathering cards, all that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, basically got into painting then. I then had a break from the hobby, like a lot of people.
Yeah.
Went off to uni, met girls, did all that kind of good stuff.
Aw.
Then I found a future wife that allows me to paint and allows me to be a nerd at home, which is always good. Find one of those, and got
did.
back into the painting side of it. It's good. It's good. Yeah, got back into the painting side of it. So started a couple of years ago. Yeah, started painting again a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Then I bought a 3D printer. This is while I was working as an IT consultant. And then kind of, let's just say the 3D printing got out of hand, and now I run a 3D printing business. So yeah, focusing on resin and that kind of stuff. And then we sell just printed, and we also sell painted minis. So kind of had to get in the habit of painting the minis up to a standard that was sellable, and kind of going from there. So it started out as a hobby, nothing more than that as a youngster, and then picking it back up again a few years ago, and then kind of, yeah, lots of practice, lots of dedicated painting to get to a point that I'm happy with.
Awesome. And I had another question, but I wiped my brain because I'm starting to paint.
This is the trouble. You do have to multitask now. You've got to paint and talk at the same time.
Tis the pain of being an influencer.
Is that what you are officially? Is that what you're calling yourself now?
No, content creator. I'll go with content creator because that's what I went. Oh yeah, so I went to the Rip Rap Festival, and that was the first event ever where I was a content creator.
Congratulations!
Like, they gave me the badge and everything. I got to go to
That's official.
to the after party. I got to hang out. I was literally in a room full of YouTubers that I watch on pretty much a daily basis, and just being there like, the fuck am I doing here?
Was you all cool, calm, and collected, or was you like proper
Oh,
fanboying out?
absolutely not. I was stressing out in the corner.
Stressing out the corner, don't want to talk to anyone. But it's hey, congrats on hitting that milestone. And who knows, in a couple of years' time, you'll be looking back at that, and there'll be someone in that room that'll be looking up to you, going, "Oh my god, it's him who I watch every day." That'll be coming one day, I'm sure.
Fingers crossed. I don't know. I don't know why I went with blue, but he's gonna be a blue little mushroom.
I went with blue as well. I've gone blue and red for the start of my hat.
Lovely. And yeah, I was gonna say Joseph has something to. Joseph knows something about having a printer and then letting it take over. He's got how many printers do you have, Joseph? It was like 6, right?
Yeah, I've got 6 printers, so 5 FDM printers and 1 resin printer.
Okay. So I've not really delved into the world of FDM yet. We're mostly focused on the resin side of it and kind of getting those things up to scale. FDMs is one of those where I think if you're doing more engineering projects, structural projects, it makes a lot of sense. But for me, I've never been able to get the detail from an FDM that I'd want to be able to do things like mini painting with, which is kind of where I started from it. But I completely understand that. So I've only got the 2 at the moment. We run a business off just 2 printers at the moment, but they are going 18 hours a day, 20 hours a day. They never really stop.
I saw you upgraded to the Saturn actually.
Yes.
How's it been?
Yes, that was. good. It's good. It's what, two and a bit times the build plate of the Mars, which is fantastic. We've been having to go through all the calibration issues that you get with getting a new printer and getting that all embedded and that kind of stuff. So, because we got the Mars down to like a 98% success rate on something that went on it when I was running the numbers, which for a resin print to get 98% success is absolutely fantastic. So we're trying to get the Saturn back up to that level. But it's great if you've got the space and the time for it. It's well worth the upgrade. But the Mars ran the business for like 12, 18 months, so it's a perfectly capable machine.
How do you handle the
It's just about
fumes from them both?
So we've got a little it's effectively a grow tent, so like a UV sealed grow tent for like growing plants. Definitely wholly legal plants. And we've got that set up in the shed, and then I've got a little extractor fan in there. So it all zips up closed and gets airtight, and then we've got a little extractor fan in there that runs out of that to pull fumes out, and I've drilled a hole in the wall in the shed to kick the fumes outside to the outside. So yeah, fumes are massively like one of the biggest problems when you're doing resin printing.
Yeah.
Fumes, heat, and humidity. They're the three things you've got to control. If you can control those three, you get the prints at a lot more consistent level. So we've got that little environment set up. We can pull the fumes out by extraction. And then I've got a little dehumidifier and heater in there. So I can set it at a constant like 23 degrees, less than 30% humidity. And that just helps us get the consistency up in the prints that we're doing.
Well, that is a prime condition. How was it when you first set up?
It was lovely. Nothing was sticky. It was brilliant. Obviously now I've started to use it and it's got covered in resin and that kind of stuff. It's less clean, but it is fantastic. It took a little bit of getting used to, because the build plate's so much bigger. You get a lot more fails just in terms of suction forces and speed and that kind of stuff as you're printing off the resin beds. But overall now I'm used to it. It's a lovely bit of kit, and they are almost getting to the point of being plug and play, which is the scary stuff for resin printers. Like when I started 2 years ago, there was a lot more get involved with getting them set up and running. But these days they're pretty much plug them in, put the resin in, and you can almost go, which is a fantastic step forward in terms of the technology and the printing side of it.
Do you tend to stick with one resin type, or do you have different resins for different things?
No, I'm boring. I stick with one resin. For me, the resin is a means to an end. It gets me the great figures that I want to then paint and sell and that kind of stuff. So we pretty much stick with the standard resin. I might start playing around with kind of some of the more ABS style ones to get some more strength and things. But again, because I'm not doing anything particularly structural, that kind of stuff, it doesn't matter quite how robust these little things are. It's more about, as long as they're treated delicately, they'll be absolutely fine. Going back to your earlier point, or someone in chat who was saying they have a problem with shipping, I completely understand that. We run an Etsy business and we have to ship stuff outside of the UK. I'm based in the UK. And yeah, the packaging we have to use to try and make sure it survives the shipping process is challenging, I think it's fair to say. It's certainly, we've had some issues with stuff not turning up in the condition that we would want it to. So that's something that we've had to deal with and kind of negotiate with shippers and that kind of stuff on, because they are a bit delicate. So thinking about moving something like an ABS style resin or something like that would be perhaps something to think about for next year. But right now, which is a standard Elegoo photopolymer resin, it's relatively cost effective. It's consistent, which again is the most important thing for us. How do we get it consistently developing nice prints? And then from there, we can work out what the plans are.
How many resins did it take for you to settle on the Elegoo resin?
Annoyingly, it was the first one I used. It was the first one I used when I was very first started printing. And like I say, things have just kind of escalated and grown quite organically. So it's just always been the one we used. It's a pretty good brand. I've had a play with some others and always gone back to the Elegoo one. I'm not going to say it's the best resin out there. I don't know. I haven't played with enough resins to say it's definitely the best. All I can say is it's the one that I use and it gives me the most consistent results. But there's no brand sponsorship or brand loyalty or anything there. It's just the one I've always used. So yeah, so I could see going with another one in terms of cost or in terms of it gives me something different to work with. But yeah, it's never been something that I felt the need to switch away from, if that makes sense.
I mean, kind of like me and PLA, I just always use it. It's just the best.
Yeah, there's no reason to change. It's one less thing to worry about when you're making decisions and designing stuff and all that.
Yeah. It was kind of interesting. There was very little resin printers at the Riprap festival we went to. I think there was maybe 2 max that I remember seeing.
I know Prusa was showing one of theirs, but it wasn't on printing anything. I think
no,
there's just a whole.
I have a feeling they weren't allowed to print anything there because of the fumes.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the other printers were printing.
It was quite amazing how many bamboo printers there were, I think.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of bamboo coming out recently, especially with the carbon and all that stuff that's coming out.
Yeah, I mean, it's because it's so plug and play.
Yeah.
It's I would like one. I would not like the price. I would not like to pay for it.
Sponsorship coming up, right?
I wish. I think I emailed them. Actually, did I email them? I don't think I emailed them. I emailed a different company about filament. Haven't gone back to me yet.
Are you sure it's still not in your drafts?
He's picking at me because I do you know of Maker Central?
Yeah.
Okay.
Up in Birmingham, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah, we went last year.
You did?
Yeah, we went
were
last year.
there.
Were you?
We went
This is
last
before
year.
we knew each other. I didn't realize. Yeah, no, we went last year. We weren't vendoring. We just went as like general
Yeah.
public,
Oh.
walk around, see the kind of thing, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We met Nerd Forge there as well.
Oh, same, yeah. Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
met her, yeah. I didn't get to talk to her because I was too. That was back when I was at exactly 1,000 subscribers, so I did not have the confidence of promoting my YouTube channel to people. But
Yeah, I get that.
So especially since the convention, I am now DMing multiple YouTubers and just having
Good for
chats
you.
with them, which is again
It's about though, right?
such a strange feeling. Right, so this is
But
where I'm
I
at.
think it's one of those weird ones where it's not like you're stealing people from. It's not like a business where like you're stealing
Yeah.
customers or anything. It's if you know if there's more great content for people to watch, that's never a bad thing. So I don't. It's a weird one. It's not like competition, which I think some people
Yeah.
see it as. I think
No,
it's just
not
more
at all.
about. Yeah, it's just.
No, especially not in the maker community. It's mostly about just making projects and having fun and kind of, I say, teaching people.
Celebrating
but
successes and all that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can I show yours off?
Sure.
So this is where I'm at. This is where Jamie's at.
Oh, we're going fluorescent neon,
Yes.
glow in the dark, bioluminescent mushrooms.
Love some neon.
Love
Where
it.
did I put the focus?
Love it.
I've lost the focus.
Where are you, though?
Put it in camera. Where is
We have Valzu in the
Uh-oh.
chat saying,
Do you need
Also,
green paint?
I haven't literally done anything else than been trying to get my printer to work. It's working now. I know I'm getting more printers at some point. Shipped once to Sweden and it was like €20, but everything was intact when it arrived. You including me in that number. I think they're referring to the subscriber count.
paragraph? Right. God damn it, Vazu, you just said so much. Yes, you have a broken printer. I saw how yours look. Oh, that looks cute.
We've got the start of the base colours coming down. So that's the blues and reds, and I've gone for like some light green things. So what I'll end up doing now is letting that dry, and then I'll come in with some acrylics over the top to do highlights and that kind of stuff.
But you know what's
That's
really
what I had 2 or 3 months ago.
really nifty if you want to go in for the next layer and you're waiting for it to dry? Little handheld fans.
Oh yeah, we have some of these, like these little, not sponsored, but John Lewis fans.
Because they're foldable.
But yeah, we got them from back a few years ago. But yeah, we got 2 of them. But they're great for when you need stuff to dry quickly.
I've got a heat gun up the painting office. So I'm up in my digital office, which has got the stuff. I've got a shed at the end of the garden, which is where I do most of my painting. And that's got a little heat gun in it because we use that for de-supporting. So
Yeah.
all of the when you've got
Oh,
resin
yeah,
prints, if you
yeah.
heat them up and warm up, you need warm water, or you can use a heat gun.
Blast.
That's quite useful to do that kind of stuff, which blasts it with a lot of heat. That's good for if you're going really quick on a timeline. Blasting with a heat gun really does make a difference.
So
Um,
we did only just get a 3D printer, a resin 3D printer. We haven't printed anything yet. It's mostly Jamie's project because I kind of the first 3D printer we got was supposed to be
A
an hour
two-person
thing,
item.
but but it kind of just ended up being a me thing. So I'm not allowed to touch the resin printer. It's all hers.
what are you going to use it to print for? That kind of little figurines like this? Because do you
Figurines.
design these, Jamie? Is this a thing
Yes.
you've designed, or is this
Yeah, so it's cryptids, monsters, things that shouldn't exist but could.
I have some of the ones you've pre-painted
Yeah.
with acrylics.
So I think I'd probably go with something on a larger scale, because I've been a perfectionist in the past and I will paint and paint and paint, and I would end up staying on the same project for far too long, for say months. So by upscaling, hopefully it would speed me up a bit quicker. I don't have to explain the benefits of using resin over
MDF.
MDF, as you know. The quality differences.
I have them at hand to compare. So we have an
Chunky
MDF
boy.
print, and we have a resin print. One of them is slightly smaller, but the detail though.
do you mean FDM instead of MDF?
It's, I know acronyms.
I'm like,
Yes.
if you carved that out of MDF, fair play. I'm not going to knock you for that.
Honestly,
but-
he looks pretty good.
It's not bad. You can see some layer lines in it, but for
Yeah.
depending upon what you want to use it for, and if it's going to be sat on a shelf and stuff, it's not bad on FDM. But you definitely get the detail out of resin.
Oh, get another.
Oh, this
thing.
one's actually no. This one is printed on this printer.
Oh,
Use
yeah.
more.
I was gonna get the shoulder guy.
Oh, yeah, I can grab that. I keep
Yeah,
walking
so
up and down.
like MDF printing is fine when you're doing like slightly larger stuff, because this one's like compared to the mushroom, this one's like quite a lot bigger. But
I guess you don't notice with this one, the larger scale stuff.
yeah, the larger scale stuff is really nice on because I think you've seen this one at Comic-Con.
Yes, yeah. Is that the one that was attached on your shoulder as part of the costume? Yeah.
So like MDF is really nice for stuff like this because it's a bit bigger.
You know what it is as well? With resin printing, I don't have to stress about teeth. I know they're going to print.
Yeah, it's been a challenge to get teeth done properly on our printers.
Just in terms of the small scale of them and that kind of stuff.
That and like print orientation as well. So his
Yeah.
head is two different parts. He's got
Okay.
splits there, so that we can print them facing up.
I'd like that line to be invisible by the time everything is assembled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so resin's good for that level of detail. It is a lot more effort in terms of the post-processing and the thinking about the support structure and getting it sliced, etc. But I personally think it's worth the effort in terms of the results you get out. But it's it's very much what's the level of input and what you're going to be using it for. Like I say, if it's a part that's going to be hidden in a circuit board, you don't need to worry about it. But if it's a display mini that you want to paint up and spend a lot of time on,
I think
I
that's
think it makes sense.
why I hesitated for so long whether to get a resin printer. It was how messy they can be, the fumes, having somewhere to store it, etc. But you know what? I've given in. I finally got one, and I'm
Good for
excited to
you.
use it.
Would be. So they're great things. And they're great things if you can get them. If you get them dialed in and calibrated and that kind of stuff, then they can do some really, really smart, clever stuff that looks amazing, even unpainted. I see a lot of people that just go, I just want it in the grey resin, or you get like the coloured resins that are quite good.
Yeah.
I'll pick those up and just print in coloured resin, even just a base coat or a starter, and people really, really enjoy that. So yeah, they're great things. The level of detail is great if you can get them dialed in and be happy with them. But it can become a hobby in and amongst itself. That's the problem. Is I started with a 3D printer to make things to paint basically, but ended up with spending more time doing the printing than the actual painting at some points.
But you've
It's a
started a
balance you have to
business.
find. I did. That was that was kind of I got to the point where I was doing lots of printing and painting for myself, and when I was sharing friends and family and that kind of stuff, they got to the point where I was like, this is really good. You should like sell these, as a lot of businesses started, and then it kind of went from there. We were lucky enough that from just being in and around Comic Cons and people we know and stuff, that we knew people in the industry who kind of organised the events. So we was like, right, could we have a table, or could we come and teach people or talk to people? And it kind of escalated from there, I guess.
So,
Is,
because you weren't teaching stuff at the Comic-Con this time around, how was that the same kind of arrangement you guys had at London's Comic-Con?
Similar. So what I did do at Birmingham Comic Con is I did do a talk. So I did a
okay.
panel and a talk.
Sweet.
So where I basically talked to people about what was it called? Can't remember the official title of the panel, but basically it was troubleshooting 3D printers.
Oh,
When
nice.
3D printers go wrong, what should you be looking at? Why does it gone wrong? What's the kind of way to start thinking about it? And then you can kind of start to think about, okay, how do I start to analyze that problem? How do I start to fix that problem? That kind of stuff, and some of the various problems that people run into when they're first starting to print. Because, like I say, my printer's going 16 hours a day or something, which means that I end up with a lot of fails and a lot of issues with it. So I've probably encountered most problems as I've gone along in some way, shape, or form. So I ended up doing 2 talks for Birmingham and that kind of stuff, and then we get the vendor spot that works alongside it, which is really useful. So either teaching people or doing a talk or kind of just engaging with the community really to help them out, and then it works back. So that's always a good little setup, and it helps everyone. Everyone gets something out of it then, which is quite good.
Awesome. Are you guys making a vlog for this con as well?
Yes. So my partner makes the vlogs, so she does all the GoPro footage and that kind of stuff, and then hacks it all together in an edit and those kind of things. So she'll be on that one. It's kind of one of those things that we started doing a couple of cons ago just to start to build up. So I think for people as well, it's interesting seeing the setup days. It's interesting seeing all the stuff that leads into it. It's not just turn up on the day. There's a lot of stuff that goes into the setup and the packaging and all that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping that'll be interesting for people, but we'll wait and see.
It is.
See if people enjoy it. See if people get it.
I mean,
we'll see.
Some of the funnest parts of going to the convention we went to was we were there till the very end, but like as soon as they said the doors for visitors are closed, everyone started packing up, and you just see this just everyone manically tearing stuff down. It's quite fun to see.
Well, I say we've been there since the Thursday. We've been there for 3.5 days, so it's I just want to get home at that point. And it's incredible how quickly it goes from looking perfect and set up to it's all in boxes and ready to go. There's some people that take hours and hours and hours to set up and pack down, and then you get some of these people that have been doing it for years that are clearly pros. And you watch them pack up and pack down, and they're in, out, couple. Everyone's got a job. Everyone knows what they're doing. It's quite impressive to watch.
Yeah, we had a lot of people coming down from America to show off their stuff, but they were pretty seasoned.
Yes. Especially, I think, if you travelled, obviously you've already kind of packed it up either to go in a shipping crate or to go into a suitcase or that kind of stuff. So they're pretty used to packing it all down. Oh, nice little red top. Red hat on there.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Paddington.
For fuck's sake.
Oh, give him a marmalade sandwich.
That's not what I was going for. I have no idea what I was going for, but I guess it's Paddington now.
Paddington the mushroom.
A blue tack sandwich.
No, you have to model it so you can print it.
No, it's not going to print in time.
With the events you've been to, what have you learned as an exhibitor that you will try and do in the future?
What have we learned? Quite a lot. I mean, it's like I say, so we've only been doing exhibits now for this year, so we're still very new to it. And I think the honest answer is we've still got a lot to learn. But I think as part of it, like the biggest part for us is just about talking to people and engaging with the community, both from a kind of business perspective and getting customers. But that's not why I went into it. We haven't gone into that
Oh,
instantly for making money and that kind of stuff. This is about engaging with the people and talking to lots of people and just getting out there and meeting people. From a there's a lot behind the scenes, and you'll see this in the kind of vlog stuff about how we package things up and how we look after things. Because obviously these are small little fragile figures, and when you're only looking after one, and you can be very specific about looking after it, or it's going in a rucksack, it's quite easy to look after one. When you've got 50 of them in a box, because that's how many you want to sell across the con, thinking about that packaging, how you're looking after them, what you're leaving on supports, what you're going to de-support there, that can become really tricky. We've had times where we've turned up at cons and the box of things that we're going to sell, you open up and it's all in bits, and it's like, right, okay, well that packaging clearly hasn't worked. So we need to have a think about how we repackage that, and we can't sell that at the con. So I think our packaging and pre-processing we've learned a lot of as we've kind of gone along. Our setup and pack down process, we've now started to get things like checklists and things like that in place to know what we're going to package with, what gets packaged where, what goes in what box, etc., etc. That's become really important, and just kind of getting a feel for it and kind of getting into it. Like I say, we've not done this is our first year, so we're still very much learning what's the right way to do something, what's the where's the learns coming in, where's the right, how do we pack the car, simple things like that, like how do we fit everything in the car. Like we want to do different designs and new stock, but we've only got a certain amount of space in the car, so are we going to be taking stuff off that isn't selling well, or are we going to be changing the amount of things we take to a convention? So like I say, it's still very new to us, we're still learning a lot. I'm hoping that we'll keep on learning. Like I say, we've already got 6 or 7 different cons booked for the first half of next year, so we're going to be at lots of different places, including Comic-Con in May, which is where you met you guys last year. We're at the UK Games Expo as well, which is up at the NEC. So yeah, so some bigger cons next year where we'll hopefully start to put into practice what we've learned at some of the smaller ones this year,
I don't even know
both
we
in
have that
terms of the
many
packaging,
cons.
in terms of sales, all that kind of stuff.
I don't even know we had that many cons in the UK.
Yeah, there's a lot of like smaller one-day cons that kind of happen. So we're doing like a Guildford con, which is like a city in the UK.
Yeah.
There's a Peterborough con. There's a like Hatfield, a few like, in and around London. There's quite a few, and that's just with kind of 1 or 2 companies. If you want to look at other companies as well, there's loads of. And because of what we do, we 3D print small figurines. We can be applicable to a lot of different style of cons. Like we can go to kind of like Comic Con, we can go to D&D focused ones, we can go to like games ones and that kind of tabletop gaming and all that kind of stuff. So we're quite lucky in that sense that there's a lot of different markets that we can end up at. We're not massively specific, I guess, when it comes to that. But yeah, I mean, if you wanted to, I think you could go to a Comic Con every weekend. They might not be all as big as things like MCM and that kind of stuff, but you could quite comfortably go to a fantastic Comic Con every weekend.
Damn.
Are those listed on your Instagram? The ones you'll be attending?
If they're not, I'll tell my missus off. They should be. Yeah, we need to. Part of what we need to do. Part of the things that we've learned from cons is there's a lot of times you have conversations with people and then they say, "Oh, can I find that on the website?" And we're like, hadn't even thought of putting that on the website. So we probably need to start thinking about it. If they're not, they will be by the new year. Let's put it that way. I'll make sure they're on there by then. Yeah, I think it's certainly the weeks leading up to the conventions. We shout about them on Instagram, social media, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know if we've got a whole "here's where we're going to be throughout the year" section yet. Let's make sure we do.
It might be an idea because when people do tours or concerts, if I'm following someone in particular, I'd go down the list like, oh, they're local to me. I'd go and visit. So, pardon?
Yeah, definitely. We'll get you a T-shirt with all the locations on it.
Brilliant.
Like world tour.
Yeah, Everstromn Hobbies World Tour.
One day.
I think the biggest Comic Con that I know of in the world is probably San Diego, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
So for me, that's a bucket list item, right? That's when I know that I've quote unquote made it. Is if I can get out to San Diego Comic Con and have a vendor slot out there, that'll be fantastic. That's kind of bucket list item for the business.
You could also go to something like stop stealing my yellow.
You're not going to use all that yellow.
I'm assuming you've heard of open source.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, they'll be in San Francisco, but I don't know if that one would interest you.
So I think we're lucky because we've kind of got we can apply to a lot of different kind of conventions and fan bases and that kind of stuff. So I think it's about, if we wanted to, we could probably be at one every weekend. But for us, it's about picking and choosing which ones are the right ones. It's only got so much time and energy to devote in. So what's the right ones to do and that kind of stuff. So we're still, again, part of the convention learn, going back to the earlier question, what's the right conventions for us? What's the right ones in terms of time, money, effort, travel, all that kind of stuff. What's the right products to sell? What products have sold well? What ones haven't? All that kind of stuff. So, like for example, the tiger that you've got, the black and white tiger, that'll be floating around somewhere. That sells really badly. No one wants to buy the tiger.
Wow.
Which is really interesting. So that one, for example, is on our cut list at the moment. So it might get one more con to see how it goes, and then we'll be perhaps replacing it with some other ones.
It's gonna get put down.
Oh.
Put it down.
I was actually going to ask about your cut list. Say if something was rather fragile due to that, are there any models that have been cut?
Yeah. Well, how should I put it? No, because normally if they're fragile, they don't even make it to the list. So part of the process, like if I'm picking a new model or a new design to take to a convention or take to put on the shop or that kind of stuff, we'll do some test runs and some test prints. And there are times when we'll do it and either I'll be de-supporting it or my missus will be de-supporting it, and we'll come back and we'll just go, it's not worth it. It's not, like, it's a lovely model, but we're going to have to charge more for that model than any of the others because it takes us twice as long to de-support, or we've got to package it twice as much because it's so fragile. So as a general rule, we have kind of like it has to be de-supported in a certain amount of time, or it has to be this easy to de-support. Otherwise, no, it gets banned. So we have to take those kind of things into consideration, which people just perhaps don't realise. Like, it's all part of that. That's the difference for us for running a business versus perhaps doing it as just a hobby. As if something takes you twice as long to de-support as a hobby, it's not really a problem. But as a business, we know that if we spend twice as long de-supporting it, we need to charge X amount more or whatever. So we haven't yet cut anything because it's fiddly, in the sense of it's not like made it to a con and we had to cut it. We have pre-cut things because they wouldn't have worked if we'd have taken them, and that kind of stuff.
They did it. My headphones were doing a stupid thing, and I had to turn them off and turn them back on because they were cutting out. Sorry. Yeah, we're good now. They do that after like a few hours of usage. They just they start cutting.
They need a break.
The Bluetooth just starts. It starts getting more and more annoying because it's just cutting words out of sentences. Yeah, they just need to restart. But there isn't a really good way of doing it when you're live streaming.
Mid sentence, mid flow.
Can't believe I made fucking Paddington.
Subconsciously. Have you been watching Christmas films? Is that what it is? Have you been watching a Paddington Christmas film?
No, we've been watching Endor.
That's not as Christmassy as perhaps some others.
We don't really watch Christmas films.
I'm not a big Christmas film person.
No. I mean, Die Hard is a Christmas film, so...
Thank you. I 100% agree.
In the same way that Rage Against the Machines has the #1 Christmas album.
Hey, it was officially a Christmas #1. What more could you ask for?
Yeah, we're not too Christmassy of people. I mean, I had decorations up for a video that's coming out next week, but as you can see, all the decoration is already up. Didn't even wait till January. Taking it all down? Yeah, didn't even wait till January. Just took it all down.
Oh no, my partner loves Christmas, so it's the house. is not yet Christmasified, but it will be very soon. It'll look like Christmas has thrown up on our house.
Ooh.
There will just be there'll be decorations and tinsel everywhere, I'm sure.
Oh well, yeah, yeah. We're not that Christmassy. Our downstairs neighbours have tinsel and stuff.
Tinsel.
Tinsel? what are the door ones called?
Uh,
A wreath?
yeah.
Yeah, wreaths. Yeah, they've got those on both the doors. But yeah.
But they do that for the community corridor. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got loads of people with lights up in the street and that kind of stuff. It's starting to get Christmassy, which is nice. I always find it fascinating to learn all the different Christmas traditions from around Europe and around the world and kind of stuff, and things that you just think are completely normal. You learn about people. I learned about the you heard about the Krampus run?
Yes, I was thinking Krampus.
Yeah, that's so weird.
I inhaled too quickly. I was too excited.
I mean, it's cool and everything, but it's a bit weird.
Have you seen the celebration
know
they have
about
in
this, do
Germany?
tell.
You don't know about the Krampus run?
No.
Oh, it's I mean, James, do you want to explain it or do you want me to?
Oh, I'm gonna butcher it in honesty. They end up doing a parade. I think it's between October and December. I don't know the date. And I think the idea is if children misbehave, they'll abduct them. I can't give you an accurate
Something like
history
that.
on it. Feels like a
Yeah.
ChatGPT
We just get
question.
coal.
Just coal, no matter
No,
how
it's
good
these people dress up proper full-on face prosthetic masks and big bodysuits and that kind of stuff, and storm through the streets whipping people. It's it's certainly an experience. It's worth it. It's worth a Google or a YouTube. It's definitely worth a Google or a YouTube. It is a whole scary, traumatizing thing. I think if you're a child.
I mean, that's what it's supposed to be, isn't it? Just to make sure the kid is good. Whether it works,
I think so. But
whether childhood trauma works is to be decided by future generations. But
Do you not think the idea of a fat man going down your chimney is also a bit scary?
You know what?
I feel like a demon whipping me is a whole nother level, though, right? I guess that's what I grew up with. I got used to it. When you
fat
properly think about
demon
these things.
My chimney was blocked, so I don't know how he got down.
Oh no, Santa's got a magic skeleton key if your chimney's blocked. Did you not learn that?
No, we had creaky stairs, so I used to listen closely.
That's the magic, you see. Santa's magic. He knows that. He skips it.
No, the way I found out is I used to own a rabbit, and we put out carrots for the reindeer. And as someone who looked after the rabbit, I found the leftover carrots in her cage the next morning. So clearly, the
Father
reindeer
Christmas
didn't
was just sharing. Perhaps he was just sharing his carrots.
I have my
You don't sound
doubts.
convinced.
I'm trying to find that one photo of Santa that my family has. So, do you remember the one, Bob?
No, I don't actually.
I'll find it. You will remember because it is.
Once
a
you see
sight
it,
to
you never
behold.
forget.
Oh,
Honestly,
the one you
this-
took?
this
Oh
one.
no, that's terrifying. It reminds me of those rubber dolls from the 70s, those children's toys.
Oh no, why can't I download it? Download.
Ignacio in chat says Halloween, handshake, Christmas.
Handshake Christmas.
As soon as you go from Halloween, the next big thing's Christmas. It's you're allowed to watch Nightmare Before Christmas as a film. That's the only film you're allowed to watch to bridge the gap.
Granted.
And then yeah, straight into Christmas films.
You guys have a lot in common. It's her favorite Christmas film. If I can point you guys to the Discord chat.
Where am I looking?
Oh, you're looking
Oh my
down
god, that's horrific.
From my perspective,
What is
it's all blue
that?
people.
here. So
Is that out of interest? Is that my naivety here? Is that what Santa looks like in Poland, or is that just a terrible, terrible version of it?
no, that's just a terrible, terrible version of it.
Right, okay,
Is
that's
there
not
a
what all
translation for
Santas
Home
look
Alone?
like.
Or is it the same?
No, because the one
It looks
previous
like the
year.
Grinch is in disguise as Santa.
You're right. It's someone dressed up and then dressed up as.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
As parents, why do you go up to them and think, you know what, this was a good idea?
So the young girl in that photo was my sister. This is back in 2004, I think. No, earlier. So in 1994.
1994.
1994.
Oh, so you didn't exist yet.
I didn't exist yet. Yeah.
Don't, you're making me feel old.
We get that a lot. It's fine. I feel old
Not
when I
too
talk to my
bad.
niece and nephew.
Oh. So here you go. Here's my story that makes me feel old. So I've got a little brother and sister. They're 18 years younger than me. So they were born in what, 2007,
Oh,
something like that.
wow.
No, 2009 they were born. I was born in 91. They were born in 2009.
So
And
just missed
I was teaching them to use a computer and that kind of stuff. And they asked me what the save icon was because
What?
they've never seen a floppy disk before in their life.
The floppy disk.
That made me feel really old. That was the point where I'm like, I'm getting old now. They don't recognize a floppy disk. Like that's the point. Like, what's this thing? Why is the save icon this? Like, yeah, that, okay. Now I feel old.
That was personal.
Yeah, that one hurt. That one cut deep.
Don't. The next generation won't
seen-
know what CDs are.
There'll be people that won't. That's the worrying thing.
I've seen people caption photos of floppy disks saying, "Oh, hey, someone's 3D printed the save icon."
Oh, don't even go there. It's just mean and nasty.
Oh, Joseph, can I be a butt? Could you take that image and post it in the my general chat for people to see? Because I realized I didn't show it to anyone apart from.
Yep.
You just saw our reaction to it.
I can't. Can I show it? No, I can't show it on stream because that would be annoying. I'm doing the dots.
Same. I'm also doing the dots.
So for this,
Great.
how long does it take you to paint? For example, well, let's say the mushroom as a benchmark.
It depends on the kind of paint job I'm going for. As a general rule, and you've seen the minis and models that I do on the stand, and
Yeah.
I'm sure if people want to see more, you can link it to the Instagram or our website, or chuck the links wherever they need to be. If they want to.
All the links are down in the description, by the way. The Instagram and the.
So people can see some of the painting that I do then. So in general, it takes me I tend to aim for about an hour per mini. Is my kind of general benchmark, but that is an hour per mini for painting multiple minis at once. So I will paint 5 minis in 5 hours
That is
rather than
awesome.
painting 1 mini in 1 hour, if that makes sense. Again, I'm typically kind of batch painting lots of minis at once because we're selling them. So I need to paint 10 of the little mouse dude that you've got there. So I'll take a day and I'll paint 10 of him in like 8 hours. So it's kind of a difficult one to just paint 1 mini on its own. That's a different kind of challenge because you have to wait for it to dry. And I think a lot of painting, when it comes to painting these kind of minis, is about looking at your mini and going, right, where do I want to put the paint? Where do I want to take the time? What color do I want this to be? Is that a belt? Is that a package? Is that a parcel? Is that a gun? Like all those kind of questions. Whereas when you've painted a mini before and you're just painting more versions of a mini, I think you can do it a lot quicker because you already know exactly what colors you need to get off the shelf. You know where you need to put the paint, all those kind of things. So in general, for my commercial minis, the ones that I sell at conventions and stuff, it's about an hour. For something that is just for fun, like these things you've got here, it'll probably take me a bit longer, but it's a lot more relaxed in terms of how I'm painting it, what I'm painting, that kind of stuff. So yeah, somewhere between an hour. But I don't think there's any shame in. I don't think it's pride to say, oh, I paint it quickly or I paint it slowly. I think it's about, for the most part, it's about enjoying it, right? It's about enjoying it, and if it takes you an hour to paint it, great. If it takes you 4 hours to paint it, that's great. It really doesn't matter. It's about just enjoying the process and enjoying the calming, meditative process of putting the paint on rather than staring at a screen or getting frustrated watching TV or doom scrolling on Facebook or
Easily.
Facebook. That's showing my age, isn't it? Should have said Instagram or TikTok.
Oh no, I opened it the other day and immediately closed it. The format's the same.
Yeah, I can understand why.
I
But yeah,
only ever
so
go
yeah.
to TikTok to post stuff and then immediately leave. The algorithm thinks I'm Indian for some reason. So
Yeah,
I just don't use it.
TikTok's the one that I've not really done. Obviously, we've got Instagram and that kind of stuff, and you have to kind of if you want to be
Yeah.
a business, especially in this one where we've never quite done TikTok. I'm not sure I understand TikTok.
I mean,
But there we go.
you guys done you've done shorts.
I've done some YouTube shorts. That was back when I was 3D modeling. So we have got a YouTube channel, which originally was me doing 3D modeling, just in Blender, and it was time lapses of me doing like 3D modeled scenes, and that kind of stuff. And then I just decided that I was focusing more on the printing and painting stuff, so kind of backed away from that. That's the channel that we're now putting our kind of con vlogs on.
Yeah.
But yeah, we took some of the longer form YouTube videos and just cut them into shorts. But I just struggled to get the traction on them. The trouble with shorts, as the name suggests, is it is so short. Like once you've posted it, you've got like an hour or two, and then it just disappears off into the ether.
Yeah.
At least with kind of like the YouTube videos, you kind of continue to get views. That content's a bit more evergreen, that kind of stuff.
I mean,
But
yeah. I mean, I've had success with a short. Well, this week. So we went to the convention. I did a short. I literally the one short I did at the whole convention. I did one, and yeah, for some reason the Instagram algorithm liked it a lot, and it's currently
great,
sitting at 1 point. Sorry, I don't want to lie, so I'll take a look at it. 1.5 million.
wow, nice.
Yeah, I don't exactly know why. I mean, it's a decent short, but yeah, one of the guys there made a plant pot that like automatically waters the plant.
Okay,
Yeah, but really cool thing. But like, I didn't expect it to take off. But
it's so much a numbers game of like what the algorithm does and how
yeah,
it works, etc.
yeah. I think I tripled my follower count on Instagram with that one as well. I think it's over a
That's
thousand.
awesome.
Yeah, it's over 1,000 followers since I posted that. It's been a ridiculous one.
Congrats. Well done. So it's so bizarre knowing what the algorithm chooses and what it doesn't, and it is just that kind of numbers game where you have to just keep going until
Yeah,
you get that point. Which is because you're right, because that's probably I'm sure it's a great short, but I'm sure it's not 10 times better than the last short you posted or that kind of stuff. So it's why did that one go viral? And it's just
yeah,
all about the algorithm.
yeah, exactly. I try not to think about it for the most part. I like to think the way that I've been told to think about algorithms is thinking more about communities, because if you're
Yeah.
making stuff for a community, then the algorithm will show that to that community. So
Hmm.
there's no point optimizing things for the algorithm. Optimize things for the communities. So like for
Yeah.
the most part, I just kind of print for the most part I just kind of post what I think is cool, and and yeah, and it in some cases it works, in some cases it doesn't.
Yeah. I read like a business book kind of thing, theory book, and it was about finding what's called 1,000 true fans, which is doesn't matter how many followers you've got. What you need is 1,000 people
Yeah.
that will support you and actively encourage you. And if you can find those 1,000 people, you'll find success. So actually, it's not about getting millions of views and millions of followers. Obviously, that really helps, but it's mostly about how do you find your community of 1,000 people
Yeah.
that will actively support and engage with you, and they're the ones that are the important ones. Yeah, the algorithm is just a way of finding them,
Mm.
which is how I like to approach it, because then you don't worry too much about the size of it and that kind of stuff. And that for me is why it's also part of like doing the conventions and that kind of stuff, having chats to people and just engaging with the community.
I mean, especially with these conventions, getting to 1,000 is doable. It's plausible.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, getting to 1,000 and 1,000 people that have all got a story, that are all part of that process and conversation. It's just great to just meet people and help people and be part of it. And like I say, we're lucky enough that we can take the time with our business to help it grow and that kind of stuff. So we're not rushing to an instant profit margin or that kind of stuff. So it's nice just to take the time and engage with people and have really great conversations and make really great connections.
Ignacio says in chat, targeting your community will ensure they come back and it's not a one-hit wonder short.
Yeah.
Yes. So the next one's got to be great as well.
Oh, don't.
No pressure.
Flops.
No. So the funny thing is, when you make stuff on Instagram and you scroll on Instagram, every so often it comes up with this message that just shows you the short you just made, and it says something like, you gained 998 more followers. Can you top this one?
Instagram calling you out.
Sure, I will try.
I don't know, Instagram, can I? This is more down to you than it is down to me.
Exactly. I could post something. What you do with it is kind of up to you. Can you top this one?
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I feel like we need a painting check-in. I want to see how James is getting on with theirs and kind of what you're saying. Well, that's not what you tell me. You've got the white eye going on, I can see. Talk me
Yes.
through it.
So I went with pretty basic top, just basic bitch mushroom
I like
top.
it.
I've got some. I've got
Paddington
some.
does, yeah.
I made the bottom of it blue. I might go in with a different color. Where's the focus?
Yeah.
There it is. But I added where is it? I added this one, which is kind of like a glittery shiny one, and it kind of just made the top look pretty. And I also added it to the yellow mushrooms, but I don't quite like the mushrooms.
Oh,
So
you don't like the pretty mushrooms.
I don't like the little mushrooms. But yeah,
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm adding spores to mine.
she's adding spores. She's being fancy.
Of course. What else do you do? Well, yeah, fair enough. I'll give you a quick view of mine then while she adds her spores. So this one so far. So I've gone with a red and blue theme, a nice green top, and then a tongue sticking out. So we're gonna wait for that to dry. It shouldn't take too long. It's nearly there, to be fair. Yeah, it's nearly there. So we'll start adding some details to that one in a bit. I've got the base coats down on this guy.
Sweet.
Weird enough, I went purple as well before even seeing yours, so it's clearly lending itself to the purple.
Yeah. Nice.
You could sense
And
it.
then sense the purple, and then this is the last one that I'm doing. I'm gonna go. I only got the greens on this one so far, but this is a little crazy little dude. So yeah, that's where I'm at with those little. Let's say it's just I'm painting 3 at once at the moment, so it's that whole how long does it take to paint one mini? I very rarely ever paint just one mini at a time.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, because you do bulk batches, I guess you don't ever have to.
Yeah, I'll sit down and paint for a whole
Resting
afternoon or
expert
something.
now.
Do you ever paint for fun anymore?
It's something that I want to do more of next year. I want to do more painting for fun. Do more if it's stuff like this or like less just commercial painting. There's the spores. Look at that glowing mushroom. Got the red and the yellow mushrooms going on the side, or pink, I guess.
It's very cute.
Looks great.
I've not done anything under
What
there.
have you mounted that on the Elegoo firmware disc?
Oh, I didn't even know it was Elegoo. That's ironic.
Alright. I'm not judging.
Where did this
I'm
come
judging.
from?
Are you sure this is not sponsored?
PDF.
Don't look at me.
So-
Don't look at me.
This
It's not me.
no. This is from my sensor kit.
Oh, so story short, I like to make paint palettes out of anything that is disposable. You can see this is like a deluxe graphics pack.
Yeah, I like
This
it.
one, another deluxe graphics pack. Yeah, I just like upcycling.
This is from my sensor kit. This wasn't sponsored. This is actually one I bought. It's just electronic stuff. Here's a spoiler for some future videos for anyone watching. Elecao sent me a big box of sensors. So this is going to be a fun one. John, would you like to learn how to do some basic electronics?
I've done some very basic electronics at times. So I've like wired up like LEDs and that kind of stuff, but literally very simple circuits. One battery, 2 or 3 LEDs, and a switch. That's it. That's kind of my level of LED. I've done nothing with any sort of computing or circuit boards. I used to be an IT consultant, so I can code to a level. But yeah, nothing in terms of the hardware. I've done a little bit of like LED stuff, but that's about it. But yeah, so perhaps I'll have to learn one day you can teach me how to.
That's the thing. I'm looking for people to, because all the stuff in that box are like relatively basic. So I'm looking for people that I could just be like, hey, do you quickly want to learn some basic electronics, and just like record a video of them. So
a beginner's introduction to sensors.
Kinda like, yeah, but because I could probably make. I'm thinking of making like a couple different videos like that with a few different people. I'd like to do it with my niece, which would be fun. But
Bowser,
What you're
says,
saying is
"Just
I'm on the
please, I
same
want to
level as a
learn."
child.
Oh.
Sorry, Vazu, you said what?
Yes, please, I want to learn.
Okay, well, when you come to London, you can be in a video. Sorry, John, I missed what you said.
You were not the same level as a
So are you
child, I'm
saying-
sure.
Yeah, is that what you're saying? I'm on the same level as a child. Basically,
No,
I'll learn what you mean.
No. 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 I should point out. I'm also probably gonna have a 50, 60-year-old men help. That sounds wrong.
really strange.
I don't know which one I'd rather be.
You're in the middle.
I know I'm old. I'm not that old.
If you've ever watched Harry Hill fight,
No, I have a friend who does a podcast, and I asked him if he wants to be part of that kind of video, and he said yeah. So maybe.
did he want his age out there?
He gave him a range,
Hope
50
so.
to 60. It's not that specific.
I have no idea how old he is.
He's going to be like 41 or something. It's going to be so harsh.
If he's watching this live, he's about to unfollow.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Glenn.
One of your
I think he is.
subscribers.
Nah, he'll be fine. He's a joker. He'll understand.
Probably won't get the reference. He's too old. Oh dear.
Oh boy. I'm just gonna keep digging.
Yeah, keep going. We'll get you a ladder. Help you out of the hole at some point.
I feel like you should do a quiz of like pre-2000s tech. Do you know what this item is? And like just get people to name it.
No, 'cause it'll make me sad.
No, people
It would just
already
make
do
me
that. I don't
sad.
like those. I don't like those. People already do them. They're good for a quick short, but they're not that fun. When it comes
Not
to
CRT
shading,
monitor.
when it comes to shading,
You've been
how do
casting
you?
some shade.
When it comes to shading, how do you do that?
So I think you got a couple of options. So for where you're at the moment, where you started with acrylics and kind of less of the translucent colours, you have to go in and kind of manually shade. So that's kind of going in with mixing up a darker colour and then just starting to think. It doesn't take a lot. Like you can be quite harsh with the highlights and shadows because when you're looking at a mini from kind of that far away,
Yeah.
the bright pops of contrast and colour really make a difference. So I'd say kind of going in manually and just thinking about things like if I say like ambient occlusion, so like the crevices and that kind of stuff, putting the first lot of shadows in there will probably really help. Apart from that, there are options when you prime, and depending upon the paints you use, of kind of having shadows in there already. Which is so for this one here, for example, which I'm not painting at the moment. What we've done there is what's called a zenithal highlight. So you start with black at the bottom, and then you spray white from the top, and then it kind of does some of the shadows and highlights for you, and then you can just paint with more kind of translucent paints. So, for example, I'm painting speed painters at the moment, just trying them out and testing with those, and they're semi-translucent, so they kind of show some of those highlights and shadows in the backgrounds that you've already put on. But it's really just about experimenting and thinking about where the light's going to fall. Everything is effectively a curved surface or a flat surface. They're the only two options. So thinking about everything in terms of a sphere or a ball, and thinking about how shadows fall on a ball will start to help. But apart from that, like I say, especially if you're going a little bit more fantastical, thinking about where stuff goes. It's just about adding contrast and making the colors pop. Really makes a difference. So thinking about splitting those colors up and adding pop colors can make a really big difference.
Right, I will attempt to make it pop.
You can do a wet wash.
Yes.
Yeah, washes are a good starting thing. Very, very thin colours of dark paint will kind of naturally form in all the crevices and cracks. The trouble with washes is you don't have a lot of control over them. They're going to go into the cracks whether you want them to or not. So they're good kind of starters, or they're good if you're not feeling confident about it. But my advice would be, is long term, washes will hide some of the details that you don't want it to. But they're really, really good when you're starting out, or perhaps haven't got the time to sit there and pick out, or you just want a quick way of doing it. They'll naturally form in all those cracks and crevices to add some level of contrast to the mini, which is good.
And if a bit of wash touches a wet patch, oh.
Oh, and then it starts
It
to bleed.
travels,
Yeah, that's what I mean when I say they're not always. They're difficult to work with at times because they're not go. They go where they want to go, not necessarily where you want them to go. But certainly when you're starting out painting or not got the confidence, people call them talent in a bottle, because it can just literally add that shadow and that highlight as you need it to, very, very quickly and easily.
Have you tried using liquid masking?
No, I just use blue tack, especially when I'm airbrushing. I just use blue tack if it's a specific bit that I need to mask. That's quite useful at times. But it depends entirely upon what you're using it for and kind of doing it. I've never played. Have you played around with liquid masking before?
Yeah, so I used to do a lot of work with watercolors, inks, and that's what I would
Okay.
use it for primarily. But if you're doing something like, say, tiger stripes, you paint them down first, mask it, and then do the next layer, peel them off. Not only is it really satisfying, you've got a clear, crisp line.
Oh,
But yeah, like you say, blue tack works just as good.
blue tack's it's a very, very low tech option, but it tends to work pretty well.
And it's reusable.
Yes, and it's really eco-friendly.
It's a funny word to throw in this conversation.
We're all painting little plastic figures.
Yeah.
They're not
It's
plastic,
something
they're
we're quite
resin.
conscious of. Or resin, yeah. It's something we're quite conscious of. So we try to make all of our products kind of eco-friendly, because I'm very aware that we're putting out little bits of plastic and resin into the world. So trying to be conscious of that is it's just really key for us to make sure that it's sensible, because
We do love the materials you put for the box, because you guys have the like wood chips for
Yep.
they're very cute. I like them.
Oh,
yes, we've got the wood chips there. All of our tape is eco-friendly. All of that kind of stuff's all recycled. We just try and do what we can where we can. Like, there's sometimes where you have to just lean into it and just go, look, we can't get it because we've got to protect the product. But as a general rule, we try and make all of our product eco-friendly, eco-packaging and that kind of stuff, and try and be sensible in what we do. Brown paper bags instead of plastic bags and that kind of stuff.
I mean, for stuff like what you said with taking stuff to cons because it might break, it's probably fine to get something that will be strong, but you'll keep reusing it, right?
Exactly. For that stuff, for us personally, we know that we're going to reuse it time and time and time again.
Yeah.
So we'll get like the big plastic tubs and that kind of stuff. And I think that's okay. Yeah, it's when we're kind of shipping stuff out and sending it off to people, that's where we try and make sure that we're being conscious of what we're putting into the world.
Yeah, you can't expect everyone to be as aware.
No,
make
we've just got to,
stuff.
yeah, we've just got to do what we can do. Like, there's no point getting too. We don't try not to get on a high horse about it or anything like that. But you just got to do what you can do, and if you can do that and make the world a slightly better place than you found it, then that's got to be a win.
And it's quite funny because Japan, for example, uses quite a lot of plastic on their on
their
all the
fruits.
products and everything, but they have a really, really good system for sorting plastics, and because it's so ingrained in their culture as well, like you automatically separate the different kinds of plastics you have. So,
I guess it's also a cultural thing, but yeah.
Yeah.
I spilled water.
Whereas most people in the UK just dump it in the recycling bin and think they're doing a
Not
good
even
job,
the
which is
recycling bin,
fair
just
enough.
dump it in the main one.
Or in the
Or
pavement.
dump it in the-
That happens far
Yeah.
too often.
But you can find little claw machines by the side of the road, which is quite nice.
Indeed. I mean, that technically counts as recycling, though.
Upcycling, yes.
Upcycling.
I mean,
We have a
Yeah.
footstool. Do you want to share your footstool?
that sounds so specific. You can grab it. You can go get it if you
let me
want.
grab
It's
the
quite big.
footstool. I'll figure it out.
The bottom. Yeah,
I'll
sure.
figure it out. Keep conversation.
I could have finished the footstool, but I took a break. I just needed to attach the pillow on the top. It's taken me months because I've been procrastinating on it.
We
Oh.
have.
There's a term in mini painting called pile of shame, which is a load of all your unpainted
Oh,
minis. I'm on a mission to get it renamed as the pile of potential,
I love
as
that.
in it's just future potential. So I think the footstool, there's no shame in it not being done. What you're doing is you're giving future you the potential to be great.
So I have 2 shelves, multiple boxes of potential.
And look at that. See, how much better does that feel to say? How much more
Great,
positive
yeah.
is that to say? Look at all this potential I have.
Okay, so this is the stool. We have some eels on this side.
You can pull the black bit up.
I'm trying, but I'm also holding it at the same time. So yeah.
I believe in you. You can do it.
Right. So,
I'm not gonna
yeah,
help
we've
at all.
got eels on this side, and it goes down. We pretty much only got it because it has like really nice curvy legs. Look at them curvy legs.
I honestly, I've got a weakness for furniture that's curvy.
We have
Nudibranch.
nudibranchs, and on this side we have
Jellyfish.
jellyfish, and on this side we have
Squid.
a squid.
Squid because
Look at that, that's awesome.
Different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell you've got much more of an art background than I do. I just started painting little figures. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
So
Thank
that's
you.
my new footstool.
No. No, I'm keeping it.
She won't let me have the footstool.
Because
Oh,
I haven't
that's just
finished it
mean.
yet. It's not mean. You couldn't. You know why? So, I'm gonna call you out. Where is your pillow? I made him.
You calling out my pillow?
Yeah, I'm calling out
Don't
your
call
butt
out my
pillow.
pillow.
So I made him a pillow a while ago because you always complained about your chair being uncomfortable. Now bring up the pillow. It was plush. It was thick.
This is my pillow.
It had 5
dear.
layers of foam. Look at it.
Okay, yes, I sit a lot. I edit, I film, I sit a lot. I get it.
So anything that goes under your butt gets squished to a pancake. I'm sorry.
It's a general rule. If it's going under the butt, it gets squished. Good rule for life.
I blame poor craftsmanship.
Oh.
You know what? Make your
Right,
own.
come on. No fighting on screen. No fighting on screen. Everyone's friends here.
I can't really get that blue, the shininess of this blue up here to come across on camera, but it looks like a really nice shiny car blue.
So if you wanted to really make that pop, and it's completely up to you, you might be really happy with it. It might just not come across on camera. You can start to do kind of. I don't know if it would come across. See what I'm doing there with like adding like a really bright color just in stripes across it. So if you tried to pick out the high points or the low points, depending on how you wanted to do it, of the underside of it, it would just give it that really great contrast. That's what I mean. Like it might not be the neatest paint job, but from far away, that little bit of pop and color really can make a difference, just to help give the eye something to focus on.
Currently, I'm focusing on.
And part of that's about color choice, and part of it's just about being. There's a podcast I listen to that's called Paint Bravely, and the kind of concept of it in premises is like if you think you should be going for like a slightly bright blue, go like really bright, and it might look really weird, but from a distance away, especially if you're going to wash it or something like that afterwards, it just looks so much better.
Charger. For your phone. Oh. I'm glad you found it.
Going back to the shading earlier on, Matt Kit says, what I got from that explanation is that in order to be good at shading, you have to be just good.
Just do it.
It's all part of a learning process, right? All of the stuff, like as painters, effectively what we're thinking about here is we're trying to get the concept of light. That is everything in terms of painting is just about light and about where light bounces and that kind of stuff. There are tricks and tips, but just looking at a model, I'd say, where would the darkness be? Where's the light? Deciding where the light's going to come from and thinking about where the darkness is going to be is probably the number one starting lesson. There are things like washes and darker paints you can use that kind of move through the product and help out, but really it is a process of practice and getting used to this. There's no kind of quick tips, but as I was saying there, paint bravely, go where you think you can go, and be brave and see where you end up. And if it doesn't work out, it's okay. It's just a little plastic toy. Especially if you've got a 3D printer, you can do it again and again and again. But paint bravely and keep going and see where you end up. There's no, if you're learning something from every model, it's been a success, is my theory.
My old school principal had the motto of if one fail once, try again, fail better.
Yeah, fail better, fail fast.
Yeah,
That's the key.
didn't really work for exams because we only really had one of those.
No, you only
so,
get one shot at that.
Yeah, exactly. So his motto didn't really apply there, and when I asked to redo it, they kind of laughed at me. So yeah,
Want to fail better? Come on.
my advice.
Yeah,
is
I think
teachers
it's.
lie. Sorry.
But yeah, I think just having a go, and like I say, it's one of those. It's a try and push it almost 2 or 3 levels past where you think it needs to be. Would be my advice with shading, because the chances are when you start to read it from, like I say, a couple of feet away or it's on a shelf, your eye is going to kind of do a lot of the hard work for you. So you can push it to be darker and lighter than you think it's going to be, and you'll end up in a place where it looks normal or right. But when you look at it close up or really think about it, it almost feels too dark or too light.
My kit says, I can't even paint well. How am I supposed to paint bravely?
That's the point.
Painting bravely is the start of painting well. It's all part. I say, if you look at some of the stuff when people pick up a paintbrush for the first time, it's all a learning experience. You look at some of these people, some even just like drawing, starting just from 2D art, etc. When those some of those amazing artists, you look at some of their first ever art, or you see these people that have got like 5-10 year art journeys. Sucking at something is kind of the first step of being good at something, and that's okay. Like I think it is just about doing something you enjoy, being consistent with it, being patient with yourself, and the more you do it, I promise you will get better at it. And even if you don't, as long as you're having a good time, that to me is the most important thing. If you're doing something that you're having a good time with, especially if it's supposed to be a hobby, then you're winning. Like putting little bloodshot eyes on mushrooms. I mean, what's not to like about
Paddington, what have you done?
that? Paddington after a night out.
Is that what they call magic mushrooms?
Must be.
Oh, please get him some eye drops.
Paddington's got dry eyes.
I think I'm done with the mushroom.
Same. I think I'm done with my
You
one
done
as
with
well.
the mushroom? Can
Yeah,
I
my
show
one's
your
got slightly
mushroom?
moister eyes.
There we go. There's your mushroom.
And mine will be UV reactive, so I don't think you want to turn off all your lights and go in with a blue, but...
We can do. It won't take that much. You want to turn this one blue?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't do it with my phone. I'm using that for the microphone.
If you can flip the switch on that one, I will make the lights fluorescent blue to show off your amazing paint job.
Okay. You good?
Yeah.
I turned something else off.
It's starting to come through.
There we go.
Look at that. Look at the popping.
Let me try to get the other light blue as well to make it more direct. Get over here. That's not blue. Blue.
There we go.
See? It's art.
Look at that.
I have such a weakness for UV paint.
It does look pretty good. It never comes across as nice on camera.
You know
though.
what? Paddington goes to a rave.
Paddington meets a friend at a rave.
You can really tell the eyeball color there. you want to play some copyright-free rave music?
Okay, I'm putting
Yeah,
the
you
light
can turn
on.
the lights back on.
Makit says, I love this kind of discourse between the science and art community where both sides are like, no, our thing is way easier.
As a person who studied art for majority of his life, art is not easier than electronics.
See, I consider myself science more than art.
You licked your paintbrush.
I would definitely put myself in the
You
science
lick your
camp. It's more
paintbrush.
about 3D printing, coding, all that kind of stuff. To me, this is science in the sense of it's just how light bounces. I don't see it's a real one, but anyway, there's my little so far.
It looks really good. So I should put. So I studied art and design
I like the texture.
for So
that's been put on the sides.
secondary, I studied art and design. Well, primary, I studied art and design. Then I did art GCSEs, and then I did art in college for 3 years. Was it?
Deep thoughts. The PTSD is
For
coming
too long.
back.
For too long. And now I still can't draw very good.
See, I've come from a very science maths background. So I did economics at university. Before that, I did maths. Then in a previous life, I studied to be an accountant. So I'm a fully trained accountant. So give me a spreadsheet full of numbers and that kind of stuff, which I think is why I see this kind of stuff as more science and maths than art, because that's the world that I've come from. It's very much about there's a process, there's a step by step to how I paint things. There's a plan, that kind of stuff. That's how I find it a lot more about the process and the science behind it than necessarily the art.
Right.
But it's how individual people do it and enjoy it. That's the key.
Right. Do you want your dessert?
Yes.
Okay. He's tiny. Hold on. Let me get some. Let me get my calipers.
Also, those skills.
Just to show you
correlate-
guys how fucking tiny this one is. He is about. I can't even get both of them. He is 30 millimeters tall. Not even.
So he's what we'd call 28 millimeter scale, give or take. So in the mini industry, if I said 28 millimeter scale, does that mean anything to you two, or you three, I should say?
No.
So 28 millimeter scale. So you get multiple different scales when it comes to minis and painting and that kind of stuff. And the scale, so the number, is the rough size between the base of the feet and eye level for a standard humanoid figure.
Oh.
So if you see a mini or something online that's described as like 28 or 32 millimeter, that means it should be roughly to scale with something that is about 32 millimeters from the feet to the eyes. It's kind of that scale. So because of the world that he exists in, he's probably a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller because, like, obviously, if he was true scale to 28 millimeters, he'd be teeny, teeny, tiny. But like as a humanoid character, he should be about 28 millimeters from feet to eye level. Some of like the busts that you might see. So I mean, you've seen the bust that we've done and that kind of stuff. But like more display models will also run in something called 75 millimeter scale, which again is 75 millimeters or 7.5 centimeters from feet to eye level. Kind of action figure size. It's probably another way of thinking about that. Yeah, lots of different sizes and scales within the industry. But effectively, when you see that number, it's the rough size from feet to eye level for a standard 6-foot model, human type thing.
Do you actually play D&D and all that?
Yeah, that's how it's said. That's where I got started with 3D printing, was because I needed D&D minis for my D&D group. So yeah, so I play a lot of D&D. I've done D&D, I've done Pathfinder, I've done a few other different RPGs and stuff. A lot of board gaming as well. So yeah, so I'm forever the dungeon master. I don't.
What did you break?
I didn't break anything.
And what did you show me?
What did you break him after my little care
I
package?
picked off a bit of the what do you call it?
The armor?
Not the armor.
The tail?
No, I've forgotten the word for it. The not infill. Support.
I see. Yeah, there's one piece of support there.
I'm a picker,
There's a
and
bit of support left on it.
I wanted to
Yeah,
grab
and
it
she
off.
picked it off, but it kind of brokey.
It's fine.
Not brokey.
I will paint
It
him.
didn't come off just right.
Give the boy.
Do you want a pair of snip slips? I was going to do the same for this guy because he's got. Yeah. So we constantly want to join a D&D group, but have no idea where to start.
I mean, it's a different one. So I think the general answer is that if you've got like what I would call like a local gaming store or a local hobby store, I think D&D in person is much better than D&D online. I think there's a world for online D&D and virtual D&D, but in-person D&D I think is much better and nicer for people if you can get over the confidence level of role-playing in person. But yeah, finding local groups, there's loads of it. It depends if you want to play or if you want to dungeon master. So I don't know how much you know about D&D and what the role of a dungeon master is and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're aware. We're definitely more players.
Fair enough.
I mean,
because there's always a demand for dungeon masters. So if you wanted to DM, just put something online with loads of people that'll be up for it. In terms of playing, I think sometimes it's about just finding a local group or finding some people to do it with. If you can find people that are local to you that can regularly meet up, it's a great way just to enjoy an afternoon, evening. If it's something that, if you can find people or a local gaming store, that would be where I would start. Online D&D is better than no D&D. It's kind of the way I'd put it. But I think there's something magic about doing it in person, especially doing it with people that you know and can be confident with and be comfortable with. I think that's really, really important.
Yeah. I mean, so we have a group of friends that we play board games with. Mostly we play Dune. I don't know if you've played that.
Yeah.
But
I've not played Dune, but I've played a bit.
Okay. Well, it's kind of mostly what we play. But we do want to...
They're short-term games.
Yeah.
They're fine for the evening. For D&D, it's devoting regular time to.
I think that's the key. I mean, you can do one-shots, so that are kind of like one or two sessions only, and people only commit to 1 or 2 sessions just to kind of get started, which is great. But it depends upon which bits of it you're interested in. Like, if you're interested in like just the combat side of it, there are better games out there for doing just the combat. If you're into just the roleplay, there are probably better games out there for just the roleplay. If you want to do a long-term story, collaborative storytelling stuff, then I think D&D is great. Or Pathfinder, or any of the other tabletop RPGs. I think there's lots of options. So it depends kind of what you're looking out for.
I guess we've not considered that, really. I know we want to do roleplay, but which form of that, I have no idea. We'll take that into consideration.
Go on.
No, I was going to say, so are you a dungeon master then, or do you prefer...
I am. I'm what's known as what's called a forever DM, which basically means that once you start dungeon mastering, you never actually get to play. You're only ever a dungeon master. So I started out as a dungeon master because I wanted to play D&D, and my friendship group did as well. But but because I was the one that was driving it, the one that wanted to have it happen, someone needed to DM. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll do it. And then it kind of grew from there. And like once you've been the DM once, you kind of that kind of becomes the natural habitat, and most people just assume that you're going to carry on being that, which is fun. I enjoy being the DM. I quite enjoy it. I enjoy the story building, the world building, playing all the different characters and that. No, I'm quite a friendly DM. As you probably worked out, I just like people to have fun. I want people to enjoy it. So I try not to kill, but there needs to be stakes, and people need to do feel like there's some jeopardy, and the decisions they make, etc., have consequences, of course. But no, I try not to kill people too much. I like to give them make sure everyone's having fun rather than feeling like they're constantly about to die. And for some people that is fun, right? It's about knowing what the group is and what different groups want. Some groups like it when it's quite an adversarial relationship. Not me and my players, but that's okay. So that. Go on.
No, I was gonna say, do you watch any of the YouTube ones like Dimension 20 and all that?
Yeah, so I love a bit of D20, Dimension 20. Obviously, Critical Role is the big one. I don't know if you've heard that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were there at
At
MCM
Comic-Con, yeah,
and
they
Comic
were
Con.
mad. People were going crazy.
They were. I got to say hello to those guys, which was fantastic.
Awesome.
That was a proper dream. That was I won't say a dream come true, but it's always nice to meet. It's
Yeah.
you similar. It's nice to meet these people that you see online and that kind of stuff, which is fantastic. And they're kind of got that kind of fantasy D&D between them and D20. They're kind of the big ones, but there's loads of other ones that need celebrating in the community that perhaps don't get the attention they deserve. Things like High Rollers is great. That's available online. That's again similar to that kind of fantasy. We was I don't remember at Comic Con. We were I don't know what. Have you got language filters on your stream? Can I swear?
Oh no, go for it.
So the people in front of us called Backwater Bastards.
Yes. They've been
And
doing
they
it.
do more of a sci-fi kind of D&D style game, which is absolutely fantastic. Well worth checking them out. They are not only a great podcast, but also just generally a great bunch of people. And again, going back to an earlier conversation from chat about what did you learn from cons and conventions, just how nice everyone is behind the scenes is kind of a big one that I probably should have called out. And so they were our con buddies. They were next door to us. They do things like get people coffees and that kind of stuff. But they're a lovely bunch of people. So go and give those and check those out some love. That'll be a recommendation. But yeah, there's loads of great people online that do kind of let's plays and play different various forms of it. And it's just, but again, it's so much about it's one game, but you can play it in so many different ways.
Have you heard of?
It's worth thinking about.
Have you heard of Dungeons and Daddies?
I haven't, and I'm slightly scared.
No. So it's a podcast from a. He used to be a well-known YouTuber. He doesn't really as much do that as much. But it's Freddie Wong, who used to be very popular on YouTube for doing a bunch of stuff. But yeah, he has a podcast with like his friends and co-writers and whatever, and they do a podcast. Well, they do a D&D session called Dungeons and Daddies, and it's like the dads that go into another dimension to save their kids, blah blah blah. But
Cool.
but yeah,
It's great for that kind of storytelling.
yeah. So that's the kind of stuff I've been listening to in my spare time. I don't get to listen to many podcasts anymore because where I used to work, I used to have my headphones in for the whole 8 hours of my shift and just listening to whatever music, podcast, audiobooks. But now because I'm at home most of the time, working on videos and stuff, playing Assassin's Creed Mirage recently. I've not had that much time. The only time I really have to listen to podcasts is when I'm at the gym, but then I usually listen to like cybersecurity podcasts for fun.
You and I have very different definitions of fun.
Yeah, I was thinking that too as well. Like something doesn't add up here.
Listen,
Yeah, we've got a dog, so when I'm walking the dog is my podcast time. I listen to audiobooks or podcasts for that, which is quite nice, and it's good just to chill out and that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you can find the time, it's great. It's I think so we've stopped watching Critical Role recently, not because we didn't enjoy it, but because trying to keep up with 4 hours a week is just too much.
Yeah,
it's a lot of time to
That
invest.
is another thing. That is another thing I have a problem with. It's like it's great, but it just there's a lot of it. But like most shows, really nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. It's just there's a lot to keep up on.
Like if I don't even bother trying to keep up with the Marvel universe, and it's not because I got bored of the Marvel universe. It's just because there's so much of it there. Same with Star Wars.
Yeah,
there's just so
the films
much.
and stuff are fine, but yeah, trying to keep up with all the different series and comics and
there's all the
cartoons.
timelines, and you have to put it in the no, can't be bothered. Have time. Yeah, I don't understand how some people keep up with it. Like I said, we've
There we
only
go.
just started
That
watching.
That one's done, I think. There's my finished little dude.
Nice.
Always coming.
Nice. Could I get you to take a good photo of it and post it here, and we'll put it in our main chat so people can have a nice high resolution version to look at.
Give me a second. I'll stick it in our.
No worries.
Do you want to do the same with you guys?
Oh yeah.
I just realised this entire time I've been hunched over the table. My back's
You've realised
feeling it.
Yeah,
Back
posture's
pain.
not great. Minifig painting. Minifig painting with a bad posture. You'll feel it tomorrow.
The thing is, it's the most well, I say comfortable, the most
It's
convenient
yeah.
way to focus in all these crevices.
There you go. So I've just dropped those in our chat, so that'll load my phone. I've sent 3 pictures of the thing I've just painted, and I've also dropped 3 other paint jobs if people want to see other paint jobs of mine for some of the stuff we sell, which is quite cool.
Sweet.
Um,
Joseph, if you can.
With them over, yep.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Must be really useful just having a Joseph that can sort stuff out.
Oh, you have no idea. I honestly wish I paid him.
I bet he does too.
Yep.
Joseph, I would love to. You know I can't afford it.
One day. One day
I'll give you a blank check.
Wow, there's a promise. It'll bounce. There'll be no money in the account, but you'll get a blank check. It won't work.
It won't be black. It won't be blank because I want to give you all the money in my account. It'll be blank because there's nothing.
Yeah, it's as useless.
Right. For those of you in the YouTube chat, I'm posting stuff to the general Discord chat, where you guys can have a look at the high resolution versions of things.
On the subject of time management with podcasts and other YouTube series and stuff like that, how do you manage your work time and personal time?
Don't have any personal time as the general right. I think it's really hard is the honest answer. It's really, really hard. It's probably one of the hardest things about starting your own business and that kind of stuff. It's trying to draw that line between business time and personal time. Or if they're not just in terms of what you're working on, but also where your head's at, where your headspace is and what you're thinking about. I do this business. I still do some IT consultancy stuff. And then just trying to find some personal time. It's really hard. And if I had the perfect answer, I'd let you know. But I'm still trying to find it. I think for me, what I try and do is I try and schedule stuff specifically. So if I can schedule it and see, okay, this is going to take me this amount of time, I need to make sure I give myself some time outside of that if I can. But the honest answer is it's probably one of the hardest things that I still struggle with is trying to find that balance of time that allows me to not necessarily burn myself out. It's probably one of the hardest things with starting my own business. I don't know about you, Thomas, if you're the same, being self-employed and doing that kind of stuff, trying to find that time balance, I find so hard.
I find it really hard not to procrastinate. I really like having a deadline, which is why making videos like every 2 weeks and live stream every other week, it helps a lot. But for example, we did the Rip Rap Festival. I'm only constantly referencing it because it's the most recent thing I've done and it's still on my head.
Yeah.
But so we were there for Saturday, Sunday, and then I had to release a video on Monday. But because of my schedule, I pretty much convinced myself that will be a video about the festival. So I literally stayed up on Sunday. I was up for exactly 24 hours to get that video edited. So we recorded most of it on that Sunday. I edited it down until 6 a.m. I posted it to YouTube, and then I think it released at 7 because I had to wait for YouTube to do processing. But yeah, I literally 24-hour day about making that video.
So the short answer is we're both really bad at time management and personal time.
but here's the thing, I didn't hate it. I enjoyed my time. But that's the thing.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah. It's like, it's not like working for someone where you have to do this thing for 8 hours straight, which can be a pain, is a pain. But Yeah, it's because you choose to do it. You don't have to do it. Like, I did have a spare video to go up just in case I didn't want to deal with it, but like I was happy to do it.
I think the difficulty with that is that it's doing that week in, week out is what becomes really hard. Like, you're right, doing the odd crunch
I try not
time.
to do that. Yeah, I try not to.
Yeah, if you're doing that week in, week out, that's when it can get really dangerous or scary in terms of burning out and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I definitely I wouldn't want to do that week in, week out.
But for like the few occasions where I have to go to a festival or something.
Yeah, it's all right doing a crunch, and so I think that's the thing for me as well. Like with the cons, we're doing those once a month. Is kind of what we settled on. Is about a con a month, which is fine. You can do the crunch once a month.
Yeah.
If I was doing it every weekend, I think I'd be in a much different place to where I am now with it.
What's like your recovery time after a con?
Depends on which con and what we've done for it. If it's just a 1 day con, I don't really get a recovery time as such. It's a busy day. It's an intense day, but it's like an intense day at work. For some of the 3-4 day cons, I'll need 24 hours. Mostly the thing that goes is my voice. Because like I say, you're there talking constantly to loads of people. You're talking over things. Like a con is a busy, loud place. So it's mostly my voice that goes. So the next day, me and my partner will just be walking around the house not talking to each other. Not because we've had an argument, but just because both of our voices are completely dead. So that's kind of one of those things where it's I think that's the bit that goes the most. It's not the other stuff, it's the voice that goes. The mental kind of catching up and stuff isn't too bad. The last one we did was, let's say, Birmingham, and we then had to drive for 2.5 hours after. So you do 3.5 days of the con, then you have to drive for 2 hours home and unpack all the car and stuff. That was tough. That took the full day to kind of recover from mentally and physically, but it's not too bad. We're trying to make it as low stress as possible, which is taking time.
Do you
but
guys get to take turns driving there and back, or?
We can do, but I'm almost just as comfortable in either seat, which I know sounds weird, but like it doesn't bother me too much if I'm driving or not driving. Like as long as we're not falling asleep, it kind of doesn't matter too much. And my partner's kind of the same, so it kind of doesn't matter who's driving. Almost, we're both pretty comfortable, confident drivers. We could do if we need to. Like there's sometimes where it's like we'll share the driving or that kind of stuff, but it's kind of just that point where like if I'm driving, it's just like, well, I'm already driving, I might as well just carry on rather than stopping and that kind of stuff. That's fine. So we can share it, but we tend not to. If one person's driving, they're just driving the whole way. That's just easier for both of us.
I'm only asking because we had to drive all the way down from London to Oxford for the convention, and well, I don't have a driver's license.
Oh dear.
So Joseph did all the driving for me, which again, thank you, Joseph.
So what we're learning here is that Joseph pretty much carries the channel.
Basically.
Is that right, Joseph?
No comment.
He's gonna rename it in the next few months. You wait.
He won't have to rename it. He just becomes the new host.
You see come up on your phone that you've gone live and you're kind of not even in the room. Just
I think the killer for me on the weekend was the fact that I had a bit of a cold and a sore throat, so it was a lot more draining than it would have normally been.
Paracetamol, ibuprofen, Lemsip, all of those kind of things. We have to take all of those with us, for exactly that reason. If you start to get a little bit under the weather, I think that's another thing as well. Going back to an earlier question from earlier on, what have we learned about cons? Hydration and fuel, as in make sure you eat, make sure you drink, make sure you stay hydrated, make sure you look after yourself. If you want to make all 3 days, make sure you look after yourself, because that is real. And I think that's both for exhibitors and for people attending. Like, it is a big, intense. There's lots of sights, lots of sounds, lots of fantastic things that are mentally stimulating and great, but they're also incredibly demanding on your sights and senses. So make sure you eat and drink, make sure you give yourself enough rest and recovery time. I think that's really, really important.
Yeah, the first day me and Tom lived off of celebrations and a slice of pizza.
And did you pay for that on the second day by any chance?
No, it was all
Uh,
free.
I meant more in terms of your health and your mental well-being,
Oh.
not in terms of the actual money.
I think by the end of the day, we did kind of say to each other that we were a bit hungry, and we had just realised we hadn't eaten for the majority of
yeah.
the day. So the next day, we decided we'd go and get a meal deal, just so we had something in our bag to snack on if we needed
The
to.
second day went really well, though. Second day went really well.
We interviewed a bunch of YouTubers, and yeah, we stopped for lunch. We had a snack. We hydrated. We had Monster for the end.
Keep you going.
Yeah. Yeah, we've already been talking about how because we'll be going to Maker Central.
Yep.
Next year.
Still next year.
Still next year officially, yeah.
It's funny because when it comes to video production, I'm already in January, so yeah.
So here's a funny thing. My first video of the year has to come out on January 1st because that's a Monday.
Better stay Happy New Year at the start of it, even though you recorded it 3 weeks ago.
I don't think I'm gonna start it with maybe. Yeah. I haven't recorded it yet. I know exactly what I'm recording and where I'm recording it, but I haven't recorded it yet. Nobody knows about it. It's a secret project.
But when you say you know where you're recording, I did kind of think, oh, I wonder if it's going to be somewhere outside. But then I realised it could be literally anywhere because one of your videos started in the fridge.
Yeah, it could be anywhere.
It's going to be in the toilet next time.
No, not again.
Yeah, what's the room of your house that we haven't seen yet?
Probably your office, I think.
You've recorded in there multiple times.
Oh no, yeah, I have. No, that was yeah. I don't think I've recorded one intro upstairs. I've pretty much recorded everywhere, honestly. Wherever.
Create a virtual tour of your house through your videos.
I mean, you haven't come out of the washing machine yet.
No, yes, I have. For the thing, I pulled the
Oh.
camera out of the washing machine. So yes, I have.
Okay, top corner of one of the rooms, spider POV.
Spider POV. I don't think I've done that one yet. No, I'm gonna go to a local park to record my my January 1st video. It's just gonna be me announcing my retirement.
You made all your money. Time to retire.
All of my money, all of the £75 that I've made ever since I became a YouTube partner.
Hey, that's a lot more than most people that have created YouTube videos. You should be proud of that. The fact that
I
you've
am
made
proud
it to
of
that level and the time and effort, you should be proud of that.
I'll be proud of it when it's in my account. For now, it's in the void of YouTube monetization, so I don't know if it actually exists yet.
It's coming slowly but surely.
Exactly. I went with purple for the jacket.
Yeah, I like it.
Regal.
I'm making the pants poop brown.
Most people just say leather brown.
Was my chair squeaking?
No, not leather brown, poop brown.
This badger has had an accident.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I put the black was on the layer of gold paint, so his entire skin tone is black, but with a golden sheen.
Nice. Magical badger.
He's a wizard. Where is your partner, if you don't mind me asking? Is she recovering?
She's downstairs watching Christmas films.
She's not to partake.
Downstairs with the dog watching Christmas films. Yep, she's We went to a Christmas lunch today with a load of friends, hence why I've got the Christmas jumper on. Talking of Critical Role, here you go. Merry
Nice.
Christmas.
I was considering
So
the
yeah,
little
so we went
one.
to Christmas lunch. And she, she's downstairs on the sofa watching some Christmas films, feeling too full of turkey, as you always are after an early Christmas meal with friends and stuff. So
Nice.
but yeah, if you she'll be in all the YouTube videos and all the she runs all the social media and stuff for the business, which is very helpful because as we've already established, I am far too old fashioned for any of this social media stuff.
She's doing a really good job on it, especially with the YouTube videos, which is what I like, which is what I watch probably the most, just because.
Yeah,
I was
so it's
raised in
just everyone's got to start somewhere, right? And that's where kind of we're starting in terms of what we can do with it. So yeah, so hopefully it's and like I say, it's not for us. It's not about it taking off or going viral and that kind of stuff. We just want to create good content that gets us talking to people and gets us engaged with people and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with shorts, I would probably recommend doing more painty stuff because, like, for shorts, a lot of the things that gets especially in like these communities, it's like painting stuff. It's the satisfaction of like having a finished model. So I'd probably do more of those.
The bit that I struggle with that is the confidence of putting my painting out there.
Just do
It's
it.
I get really bad imposter syndrome with putting painting out there, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, she's like, oh, I always want to put this. I was like, I don't know, I don't think that's good enough to put on the internet yet, and that kind of stuff. So it's that's me that
Reminds
stops
me
that
of
kind of.
someone.
You know, it's like when showing someone your sketchbook, it's very personal.
Yeah, I get that. Totally get that. And it's also the thing where like I'll finish a paint job and I'll show her a paint job and I'll be like, yeah, I think it's like a 6 out of 10 because all I see is all the little mistakes that I've made. Whereas she'll be looking at it, go, oh my god, that's amazing, that's the best thing you ever painted, that kind of stuff. And it's just as people who paint things, as anyone that paints or creates or does anything like that, what other people see versus what you see is massively different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, I get really bad imposter syndrome putting stuff on the
Which is
internet.
why I think it's a kind of a really good advantage that you have your partner doing all the social stuff, because
Exactly.
in a way she's like the normie
She's the judge of it.
the normie point of view without being without being rude. The normie point
No,
of view.
100%. It is. And also it allows her to slightly filter stuff that goes on to
Yeah.
say, kind of it's the filter for what's good, what's not, what would people understand, some stuff that I find really interesting, she really doesn't. It's like, yeah, that should probably be filtered out and that kind of stuff because it's about what's the right level of information for people and that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah. I mean, after a while of like, uh, well, after a while, you just kind of end up getting a sense for it.
mm,
Why are you kicking me?
You started kicking me.
Not
I
start
decided to
kicking
kick
you.
back.
So we don't have enough room. We're fighting.
head footsie under the table, clearly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'd say if your partner is excited and she thinks it's really good, it's probably good enough to post.
Yeah, it's just so it's getting the confidence to do it and stick it up, etc. But
As a person who had
we'll
to
get
build
there.
up their confidence, it gets easier as you go.
It was that.
It gets easier, or you start caring less.
Yeah, that you start killing less in a good way. It's not
Yeah.
that you
Oh
don't
yeah.
care
No,
about the quality. You start
relaxing.
relaxing.
yeah,
And
it's more
things
about
flow
your view
smoother.
and your opinion.
There's less pressure.
Yeah. Like my first few videos are god awful, but they were
I'm
good.
sure that's
You've not seen them. I used to make Minecraft videos. That's
love Minecraft.
good. We can play it at some point.
I haven't played it for years.
It's one of
Again,
the,
probably like 8, 10 years or something silly.
it's one of those games that I come back to like once every few years.
Yep.
I play it and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to play anymore.
It's like I've played it so much. Going back to it now, I'm just like, they've added too many new things. I can't be bothered to learn all of this.
You want to know when I gave up?
I know when you gave up.
No, I found my first ever pumpkin. I was going to plant a pumpkin patch. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to keep all my valuable belongings on me. And then I fell off a cliff. And I lost.
I can see where this is going.
I lost everything. All I wanted was a pumpkin farm. And from there I just gave in.
It's fine.
That was the end of my
I had a
Minecraft
friend
journey.
who pushed me into lava after I got my first diamond pickaxe. And from
That's
that
what.
day-
Who needs enemies when you've got friends like that?
Exactly.
It wasn't me.
It was not you. To be fair, he's not really a that good of a friend to BH.
Not since that day.
Yeah, he grew up, started a family, and
Oh, how boring is
have-
that?
Yeah, exactly. Haven't really talked to him since. Really, I don't really want to talk to him since.
You're really learning how to shade here, aren't you?
I'm still doing the cult.
It's not what I meant.
Oh,
It's savagery.
I see what you mean.
At the time of the stream, shade and shade.
that sounds like a good podcast. Shading and shading.
Shading with shade.
Sounds like
Casting shade with no shame.
sounds like a 5-star podcast on.
Here we go. There's my second little guy done.
Oh, nice.
Sweet. I'm.
He reminds me of something you'd find in the bottom of the bin. Like I love how no, like in like this grimy.
Ow!
No.
Wow, talking of throwing shade around, your paint job reminds me of something I might find in the bottom of a bin.
Okay. So my thing is like, if you've ever seen Gex the game, that's kind of my inspiration for that character. So it's like these munchy little objects, these creatures, and he's really integrated into a world where he's gnarly. I love it. I can't defend it now, can
This
I?
is why I don't put things out on the internet, Thomas, because you put them out and people say your paint job looks like it should be in the bottom of a bin.
No, I mean, because the texture of the grime, I liked it.
Okay, so her.
No.
She means knowing her. I know she means it in a good way. Because
Yeah, I'm only playing. Don't worry, I've got fairly thick skin.
So the what do you want to talk about the claw machine? What your idea behind that was?
No, because I feel bad now.
It's fine.
I was
Go on,
trying to
talk
put
about the claw
compliments
machine.
out. No, it's fine. I'm gonna go cry about it.
I'm sorry.
No, why are you sorry?
I feel like that's a women's superpower. They always find a way to make amends. Sorry.
Oh dear.
I'm staying quiet.
Yeah, talk about the behind the scenes of the claw machine.
Found some trash and made it into less trash.
Basically.
That was supposed to be at the bottom of a bin. We found it on bin day, actually.
Sure.
If that helps and keeps it relevant. No, we walked past it twice, and I was the one who gave in and collected it and cleaned it up. Sketched out the design, I guess, and designed some characters around the grabby part of the crane. So the idea is the creature would be scared of the crane, as like demonstrated around the box. But the initial crane creature that I made was too heavy, and after attaching everything, we had to rip his head off. And it's no longer a feature. So the design going around the box isn't as relevant as I'd like it to be to the internal side, inside of the machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, I talk very backwards.
Brown was
Oh,
not
makes
the
sense.
color.
You wanted poopy green.
Brown was
Poopy
not
brown,
the
sorry.
color. I have made a mistake.
He's just
But that's okay.
he's so
How do I
smart.
undo
That's
it?
okay. How many other models were in there to paint? I say it's all about learning and
It's the only
learning
budget.
like what colours work well and
So,
contrast and pop and
what
that
I
kind
would
of
do-
stuff.
I chose the only budget.
You get a
to
big
paint.
brush and you get the paint thinner and you put them together and then you dab it off. You can save this. Just don't swamp
did
it.
You can lighten it
get
up,
the
definitely.
bottom message?
I can't read actually.
It's in the chat.
That's okay. Yeah.
Do you want to continue after, or how are you feeling on stream?
I'm okay. I'm pretending my back doesn't hurt.
That's the key. Ignore the problem. Don't fix it.
I can move the desk up higher, you know.
Now he tells you.
It's always been an option.
I still feel bad about the bin thing. It's going to annoy me for the rest of the week.
It's okay. I promise you, it's not a problem at all. I was only winding you up.
I didn't actually see I saw the front side of it. How was the key on it?
He's alright. I've just gone with like a standard like little blue key on it. I did drop some pictures in the chat. I don't know if we want to send those out or whatever.
No,
if you
no,
want to keep
yeah.
up with it.
But
I did drop.
I'm assuming Joseph is already on that. So it's because
Already done.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Because Joseph's the beating heart of this channel. Keeps it all going.
Honestly,
You know what? I like that better than the original.
You don't have to say that now.
No.
It's okay.
no, it still looks like something you find in the trash.
Look, stop
but it's
saying
better
it.
than the
But it's a
original
good trash.
Yeah.
It's in the good bin. It's in the
You know what?
recycling bin at least,
I'm
right?
getting the bin.
It's not- like, in terms of the ranking of bins, like there's like main bin, recycling bin, and food
So,
waste.
so
bin.
you know how recycling centers have like a resell section? That's the kind of trash we're talking about.
Oh, at least I made it to resale. That's okay.
Charity shop.
I'd buy it at full price, happily.
Wow. Wow. You changed the tune. Oh dear.
Gears Code and Fire has asked, what brands of paints are you using?
Ooh, Green
Hello,
Stuff
Dan.
World.
We are using
and
whatever this
Model
is.
Air Vallejo.
I should point out Dan is Dan. Do you want to? Oh no, I touched
lovely
my
bio.
camera in the wrong way again, and it didn't like it.
Oh,
Dan,
you've upset it now.
yeah. Dan also does some miniature painting. He was in some kind of, I can't remember off the top of my head. Dan, just tell us. You know what to do.
Why are you doing that? So I started off with a base prime of either pure white, like that, or like a zenithal, black and white, like that. And then over the top of that, I've been using Army Painter speed paints to do all the base coats with. And then once that's all dried, I then use Pro acrylic paints just to add in the extra levels of detail. So like on the top of here, for example, you can see like the base color there is Iron Paint speed paint, and then I've all the details and kind of highlights and texture and stuff on there. I've used pure acrylics for those. So yeah, but I think a lot of it is it's not about necessarily the brand of paint you use. It's about getting comfortable with it and practicing with it and that kind of stuff. I don't think there's a best brand of paint. I think they're all pretty good. They just do different things, and you need to learn how to use them and what's the best way of using them and that kind of stuff.
I found you can use
Lots of different ways.
regular inks as well.
So when I prime, these are spray painted black with Pripper Brat paint, and then I use white ink to do the kind of highlights and the initial zenithal layer on it. For exactly that reason. It's so fine and it goes through an airbrush. Ink through an airbrush is amazing. It's a whole revelation.
Yeah, I think Dan has like award-winning Warhammer paint jobs.
I'll put us to shame.
Honestly, probably. I don't know if he has any photos of it.
He's welcome to send photos in chat.
Can you read the second to last message for me there?
Do you use them straight out of the bottle, or do you have a mix that you had to them? add to them. White ink is the truth.
White ink's amazing. That's fair enough. In terms of straight out the bottle, I use a palette, but it's not a proper palette. I use the paints pretty much as they come out of the bottle, but I use a fidget popper as a little thing because they've all got little ink. Basically, it's like little mini inkwells. Each one's a little inkwell to put into. So I just put a couple of drops in each one of those and use it. And then in the morning, it's all dried. You pop it through, and it pops the dry paint out because it's all silicone, so it's designed to be non-stick. So I use a little fidget spinner or a fidget toy, not spinner, fidget toy popper thing as my palette. But I choose them pretty much straight out of the bottle. I might thin them slightly with a little bit of water, just the water that's on the paintbrush. But apart from that, pretty much straight out the bottle. Don't use any medium or anything like that to glaze it with, or just thin it down and go from there.
Someone tried to sabotage me by not bringing me the green one.
You have legs. You can mix green.
Why would I want to mix a color when you have one?
Whenever you have to shoot off, just feel free. We won't.
About 10 minutes or so. I need to. 5-10 minutes. I'll shoot off. I'll try and get the last of these 3 ones done. These 3 models done.
Yeah. I like the initiative of using a silicone palette. Save having to scrape it off a plastic one.
Yeah, they're really. So we, as you guys saw, we did some teaching at like Comic-Con and stuff for beginners, and it was so just for them, just to be able to have a little palette that's got their individual little well in it. They can put their individual little paints in it, and then the next day I just pop it out and it's ready to go to be used. It was so. I think I saw it online on a video somewhere, and it's game changing. So good.
It does sound very convenient.
Very, very useful.
I don't use paints enough to mandate it, but it's a good tip to know.
Yeah, so when I paint every day, it certainly becomes quite useful to have.
Here's Code and Fire says, my claim to fame was Golden Demon Slayer Youngbloods finalist in 1989.
Right, that's proper painting. If you're Golden Demon Youngbloods, that's an insane level of painting. That's kind of like 100 and so hours in one paint job. When I say I paint about an hour and a half a model, they're spending 100 hours on a model for that kind of level of detail, which is I take my hat off to you, sir, or madam, or whatever. I take my hat off to you because that is a whole level of painting that I could not do. I haven't got the time or the patience to do that kind of painting.
Dan, if you have,
I'd rather spend. Go on.
I was going to say, Dan, if you have any photos, feel free to drop them in the general chat and Discord.
Yeah, I'd love to see those. Yeah.
Exactly. Or if you have a link to online, whatever, you can just text me. I can forward it into the Discord chat. But just
No hesitation.
Just
straight in.
Jesus Christ, Dan.
Yeah,
Holy
that's what I'm saying. If it's that level
what?
of painting, that's proper painting.
I haven't even
It's not just mucking about with paint like we do.
Right, hold up. God damn. Discord.
Anticipation.
I'm gonna drop them in the convo here. Cool. And in general.
Me?
Yes.
Wow, yeah. Some of the glazing and highlights on that is lovely.
He says, at the end of the day, I'm still very much a paint by numbers guy. I just copy the other people who figure out the art. Thank you, though.
But I think that comes down to what we were talking about earlier in terms of how you view it. Like, some people view it as this massively creative process, which it obviously is. Other people are like, I have my process. This is what I paint. I paint to these color schemes. Because there's a whole skill level involved, which is like can you put the paint on the brush and on the model and all that kind of stuff. And then there's the creative side of picking out the color schemes and all the theory that goes on behind that. But no matter whether you're following a paint scheme or not, the skill involved, like some of them looking at the figurine with wings, the second one that you sent me, I don't know what order it's in. But I'm just looking at the legs, which I know is a really weird thing to say, but some of the glazing on those legs, that's superb. Some of the work there in terms of the highlighting and glazing on those. Yeah, you should be really, really proud of that. It's a cracking job.
Cracking for he's American. I don't know if that phrase comes across.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's my British. Cracking, fantastic, top notch, 10 out of 10.
It probably
Good work,
probably, yeah.
gentlemen. Good work, Dan. That's fantastic.
I like the
All in all-
gadget-looking guy.
Which one? Oh, I didn't send him in the chat because he sent that one late. If you can pop that one into. Oh, there's a few of them. Sorry. Cody's got more. Discord. General. Boop, boop, boop. Conversation.
You know what? The mouse is an intimidating piece.
Do you want me to show off how far you got?
I keep hesitating.
I like painting smaller things because I feel like your eye makes up for the lack of detail or the smaller they are. But it is. But yeah, it's about. So you've gone brave there because you painted outside in. I don't know if you heard what I was saying. See, if I was painting him, I'd start with the skin on the inside and then move out, because it means that you're not having to get your paintbrush around something you've already painted. But I think it looks great. I love the color choice, love the blue. But yeah, I'd probably go skin next if you can, just to try and get that done, so you haven't then got to paint around something you've already painted.
Trying to get a good close up of
Give it
it.
a shot.
We only have the master for another few minutes.
I am not the master. Dan's the master by the look of it.
Dan, do you want to join the call and teach us?
Yeah.
Oh shit! It's texting me. Oh, he's sending me more.
Got his chance to show off now.
It's got a fucking dinosaur. Look at that.
Oh, cool.
I'm just trying to clean the kitchen right now, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. Dan's currently cleaning the kitchen. It's probably because I pointed out the fact that he had a hole in the ceiling yesterday.
Hole in the ceiling sounds like more than needing to clean the kitchen.
He had a leak in something. He had to cut a hole in the ceiling, but he sent me a photo of something else, and I pointed it out. I think I made him self-conscious about it. Oh, he's got us on the iPad in the kitchen whilst looking at a chicken.
Chicken?
Hey,
Each to their own.
hey.
Oh. Why is your cutlery next to the raw chicken? Are you going to eat that?
Dan, are you eating the entire raw chicken?
Oh, my apple
Dan
died.
sent us a photo of his hole.
Excuse me?
Thanks, Dan. That's a nice hole you got.
You said you studied. I can hear myself. You said you studied economics and have read a business book. Is there anything that you learned? I can hear myself, and it's really speech jamming me.
Sorry, Jamie's headphones disconnected.
So I think the question is I studied economics and I've read a few business books. That was as far as I got.
You studied economics and you've read a few business books. Is there anything that you have learned that you didn't learn from your other studies that you've kind of learned along the way that surprised you?
In terms of specifically with economics and business, or in terms of like related to mini painting and starting a mini painting business?
I'd say related to business in general.
Oh, so much. I think a lot of stuff like it's like learning to drive a car, right? You learn to pass your test, and you do all the academic and theory stuff, and then you get out into the real world and start actually driving, and you really learn all the rules of the road and kind of all of it comfortable with it. And there's so much stuff. I think the biggest thing that I learned was from the outside looking in, you see all these massive global brands, and I've been very lucky to work with hundreds of big global brands. So I've worked with Coca-Cola, Pepsi. I've worked with I'm trying to think of big global brands that everyone recognises, like a lot of pharmaceutical companies, a lot of food and beverage companies, kind of all of these different Lay's crisps, all that kind of stuff. And from the outside looking in, you think that these businesses have got it all like understood and know exactly what they're doing behind the scenes. And the answer is they don't. They're making it up as they go along as much as everyone else is. It's just that they're making it up with $200 million advertising budgets. So when they make it up, they can put whatever they want out there and everyone still buys it. But yeah, that there is a lot of people will tell you a lot of things about exactly how it's done. A lot of it, when you get into it, is a lot of it is just trial and error, and kind of learning it as you go, which is great, which is fun, which is also quite scary if you kind of step through it. So it's but the biggest part of business is especially sales. Did a lot of sales as well. The biggest part of sales and sales business is people buy from other people. So a lot of it is about the emotional connection and that kind of network and talking to people. And if you're a good person in business, people will warm to you and they'll want to work with you. A lot of it is just boils down to don't be horrible, don't be an idiot about stuff, and you'll get on quite well. Is my general advice to a lot of people that have worked for me over the years. Is as long as you're a nice person, then everything will go well. But there we go. That's my final paint job. I've just finished it off. I've sent a photo. I'll send a photo of all three together that I've done tonight. But yeah, I think that's probably going to have to be me. I'm afraid in terms of time.
That's all right. We've gotten plenty of your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Another photo on the final
Thank you
things.
so much for joining us.
That's all right. No worries at all. Right, there's my final photo of the three together. I'll be uploading now. But yeah, no, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. How have you found your minifig painting so far?
I should have taken your advice more seriously and painted from the inside first.
So it's one of those things that as you start doing it, you only realise later on down the line how it goes.
You know what it was?
Because you wanted to do the exciting parts
Yeah.
first.
I saw the mouse and like, I want to do the sword and the shield.
Yeah, we've all been there. Don't worry, we've all been there. No worries at all. Well, yeah. So I've just sent a picture of the final three together. I don't know if I showed that one actually of the.
Yeah.
So we ended up with that one.
I love the looniness of them now. They really do look nuts.
They're so good.
I think that a lot of that comes down to doing the kind of cartoon high contrast style paint jobs that we were talking about earlier, about pushing it one line and like using the black and the really there's lots of black and white on there to make it kind of pop and help the eye read it. So it's just trial and error. It's just experience. I don't think it's particularly. I don't see myself as a good painter. I'm nowhere near that kind of Golden Demon level. It's just about painting a lot of models and thinking about the highlights and the contrast really makes a model pop. But yeah. Okay, right. Well, I'll leave you to your painting.
Yeah.
I hope you're enjoying the painting process. But your mushrooms looked great, and I'm excited to see the finished results of the badger and the little mouse.
Oh, and don't forget to tell your social media manager to post the photos of your things as well.
I will do. I'll get to put it on Instagram and then tags and all the things the kids do these days. Whatever it is, and we'll go from there. But no,
continue working for this guy.
Good for you. Do it, enjoy it, chill out with it, relax and have fun. And look, it's been great to be on, great having the questions and interacting with chat, etc. And we'll have to do it again sometime.
Definitely. Well, we'll hopefully see you soon at some point.
Fingers crossed. All right.
And
Thanks a lot. I'll see everyone soon.
See ya.
See ya. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
That was a really sad sound.
Alrighty. So it's just us now.
Right, I'm leaving.
Do you want to continue or do you want to...
I don't mind. You know what it is? I couldn't decide what colour to do the other sections, and that is why I'm hesitating.
Not much I can recommend. I'm just kind of going with whatever. Yeah, it's not really working out for me, as you can tell.
Maybe look into color theory.
We actually gained a subscriber. Hip hip. Usually my live streams lose me a subscriber. Cool.
Let's have a look at Jamie's and see how theirs is.
No.
I can never get down this camera. Oh, just drop. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
I think I'll be sticking to larger models in future. These are absolutely
Honestly,
adorable.
the mouse
I'm
is...
struggling.
Dan says it looks nice.
Thank you. I have got a pin that I used for certain areas. It's stitchy.
Yeah, I decided not to go with this one. This one was going to be too much for me. I'm not up. I'm not down to... I'm not on this level, let alone this level.
It's just so cute. I couldn't say no.
I get it. Can we send this one to Down to Paint?
No, I'm gonna finish him.
Oh no, I meant like... Dan, you could do with another project, right? You've got time between work, family, and making YouTube videos. You've got time for a quick paint job.
How many people are in chat?
Huh?
How many people are in chat?
7 viewers. Yeah, that's kind of says right there, current viewers.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, Mondays are slightly better for people. Monday evenings, but we kind of organized this to have a guest on before I switched my my streams to Mondays, so it was kind of, I didn't want to back out of it. But yeah, from now on, all the streams will be on a Monday. John's social media manager here. Oh. She's been watching this whole
If you're
time.
holding a camera as well, that's perfect.
Tell him to be more confident with his work. He needs to post it more.
And I'm so sorry. It's genuinely gonna bother me forever now. It was a shitty compliment.
You meant it well. It's fine. Just when you're posting it online, just say, "Look what we found in the trash."
Gold dust.
That was good. Yeah, made me laugh so much.
I feel like I should have a model of myself in the bin as an apology and send it to them.
We'll send them that photo of you in the fridge.
In the fridge? Oh no. Wasn't as cold as you think.
Yeah, our fridge is not great.
I have yogurt in the freezer. Sorry, I forgot. I made treats
Sorry,
earlier.
she remembered she has sweets.
Oh no. I just realised I can't eat it because it's going to be like weird ASMR.
You can just take the microphone off.
I'm going to leave this here. And this one as well.
Is there a way for you to fix the focus on the camera? Because it's hunting.
Oh, yeah. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Thank you. How did you enjoy this stream?
Yeah, it's good.
Ugh, headphones talking again.
The AirPod needs to be in an ear, so hold on, I'm gonna put it in my ear because otherwise it's trying to use loudspeaker. So, oh no. Well, I guess she left the call. Anywho, did you learn anything?
I really liked the fidget popper toy idea.
Yeah,
Not that I do any painting, but I thought that was genius.
it is very yeah. I remember first time we saw that at the con. It was quite ingenious, yeah. And I suck at miniature painting. Also, I'm thirsty. I've not had a lot of water. I don't think this is even the longest stream we've had yet.
It's very cold.
Oh.
They're so cold.
Were you hungry this whole time, or did you just forget?
Sorry, it's very sticky. I forgot about them, so I just took them out.
I don't know where I'm going with this guy.
So usually I would take a photo of a model and edit the premise over the top.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to switch my headphones back because now the other ones had a little bit of charge. Am I still on the call?
No, I exited you out because it was feeding back. You can join, but the only person in the call is Joseph.
That's fine. That's fine.
Mute your
Working
mic.
on it.
Working on it.
Can I borrow your phone? Because mine's obviously streaming the live stream.
Joseph, how's chat doing?
Everybody left.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Valzu's still about, and Gears, Code, and Fire has said, "Got to run. I enjoyed the show."
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the chicken you had on the side. I'm not sure where that was going.
Enjoy the chicken and the hole in your ceiling. Two totally unrelated things.
Is the chicken going in the ceiling to patch the crack? We'll never know.
Find out on the next live stream. What time is it?
I'm
It's
trying-
8. Okay.
Trying to find a reference of like, I'm still thinking about the bin thing. I feel so guilty about it. If I could undo, I would, but the reference I'm looking for is those creatures were inspired by like Gex enemies.
Mm-hmm. I didn't edit the tags for this stream at all. I could have been in like, we could have changed it to like the creative arts section, but instead we were in science and technology.
Ignacio says, "Had to drop off. It was a nice stream."
It's all right, thank you. Thanks for stopping by. We'll be back on Monday. The week after. No shit, that's gonna be Christmas. No, never mind. No stream next. The next stream does not exist. We are not streaming on Christmas Day. Fuck that. We do have a video coming out next week. It's gonna be amazing. It's my Christmas video, and then there's gonna be 2 weeks of break, and then we're gonna come back with a video on January 1st. I wouldn't mind doing a Christmas stream, but I have nothing to. It would not be a very well viewed stream. Most people like to hang out with their family.
Honestly, I spent the last few years watching YouTube, so. On Christmas.
So really, I should be doing a live stream on Christmas Day.
Not everyone spends time with their family, or they have gaps in their day where they need a break away from being social.
Do you want to do the stream on Christmas Day?
I won't be a part of the stream.
Joseph, do you want to do the stream on Christmas Day?
He doesn't get paid.
Not
enough for
really.
that.
Well, then we are not doing a unanimous decision. We're not doing a stream on Christmas Day.
I got used to YouTube Premium and the ads.
Joseph, how much of a drag was it to set up the your YouTube Premium account in a
Through
different country
Polish.
again?
It wasn't too complicated. I can talk you through it in person if you want. Next time we see each other.
I guess so. I'm seeing a lot of the numbers dropping off, so I think we'll probably wrap it up.
When I say Grammy, it was kind of like this, like gameplay from this.
Oh, yeah.
I know what you mean.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I think we'll probably wrap it up. Numbers are dropping. We're dropping. This is my my final paint job for today. I'll probably finish it at some point.
I'm also going back to the fridge because I'm nibbling.
So yeah, thank you all for joining us for this atypical stream. Untypical? Atypical stream for me. We'll be back to disassembling shenanigans well, next year, I guess, since there's no Christmas Day stream. And yeah, that's kind of all I had to say. Thank you for Joseph. Thank you to Joe for stopping by. John, not Joe. Joe. Did I mispronounce his name multiple times?
We'll never know.
It's best to check. I believe it was John.
Anywho.
Everstromn.
Yeah. Yeah, links to their stuff are in the description. Check them out. They're really cool. They do really, really nice
Do you want to show
models.
the other miniature? Like, just line them up at the back?
Sure. Got this one.
Hadn't decided on the name for the badger.
Oh. Oh well. No one's in chat anymore. So yeah, we'll be back. We won't be back. We'll be back next year. Next week video. Be excited. It's a really good video. It's a really funny video. Joseph, is it a funny video?
I haven't watched it yet, but I'm sure it is because I think I helped make it.
You did. It's the one we recorded here. It's the Christmas one.
Alright, yeah, the one that made me feel very sick
That's
that
how you know
night.
it's a good video. That's how you know it's a good video, because it made Joseph feel sick. So yeah. Thank you again. Links in the description for Everstromn.
You didn't show their pins.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
they have pins as well. I don't know if they
Yes.
sell these. I think these were
They do
exclusive.
sell them. They do sell them.
I thought they were exclusive for the cons.
I think it was a trial run.
Yeah.
Um,
They have pins. They have very
Yeah.
cute pins. I
you
like the
didn't
little
mention
dragon
the red
pin.
one. We completely forgot about him.
I like the little dragon pin. He's very cute. Grr.
The sideways smiley.
Sideways smiley. So yeah. Yeah, video next week. I keep repeating myself. Till then, have a
Happy New Year, Christmas,
Hanukkah.
I don't know what time of
The
year
other
that
ones.
is.
Bye. I forgot what the offline button is again. Here.
Not the best.
Awkward
POV.
moment.
Hey, at this point, it's basically on brand.
I'm so sorry you had to see that, Joseph. Don't mind me, I'm just
11
eating.
likes. That's pretty good like ratio.
It's good.
I wasn't expecting banana. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's just peanut, dark chocolate, peanut, butter powder, and banana. That's it. They took too long to make. I see why people get these pre-done.
I didn't end the stream. For
Oh.
fuck's sake, oh my god.
It's okay that you can enjoy the banana
I,
on stream.
I clicked end stream, and then when it asked me to confirm, I said no, not yet.
Behind the scenes where we eat snacks.
Goodbye.
He's still alive. Okay.